Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We have tonight the ETF2L Season 32 Premiership Qualifiers Loser Bracket Final. It's going to be professional Disney Fangirls versus Crever, and this is all or nothing. If you win, you're in Prem. If you lose, you're into the darkness that's called Div 1, and you don't want to be there. But we have a really key game here tonight, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I am Peter, and I'm joined with Wiethoofd on production and DuMmTm as my co-caster. How are you doing, DuMmTm?
Pretty good. Should be fun. Obviously, like you said, the high implications for next season. We'll see definitely confirmed one of Prem's next season's teams here right now, and we'll see how they will potentially get into Premiership, so this should be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. So let's talk a bit about the history here. So, if we can get the brackets up on screen, we actually have these two teams. They played each other before, and that time around, it actually was professional Disney Fangirls that came out ahead. And I don't want to say it was convincing, but at least they won Gollywogs pretty convincingly, and then Snakewater was a very close game that could have really gone either way. There was a lot of back and forth on that one. And now they're back playing against each other. So definitely, the maps are slightly different now. The Snakewater has moved to the Decider, and Process has been moved to forward one map. So maybe that can change things. But what are your thoughts going into this?
I'm not sure if the maps will play too big of a role, since it's basically TF2's neutral maps, which I mentioned pre-game a bit. It's Process, Gully, Snake, those are the standard three most popular maps. We had a pre-season poll about map popularity in ETF2L, and all of them were over 80%, if not 90%, roughly. So those are everybody's favorite maps. And I would imagine those teams here would, a lot of practice from previous seasons as well, have some practice on the maps. So it's just more a matter of playstyles more than map knowledge in that regard. And that should be interesting. You mentioned they played before in the qualifier. They did also play twice last season in Div 1 against each other. Both times Disney Fangirls came on top, but as much as it was close in the qualifier, it was also close then. So it's just a matter of if they can keep this perfect record up here. I just look up the results from last season. It was 2 gold caps in the first official, and in the playoffs it was similar to last week's match, which was 5-1, 2-1. Almost the same scorelines there as well. So should be still, again, a fairly close game. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was fairly slow as well, given the Frenchie's preferred playstyle to just be able to stalemate well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be pretty cool to see. I'm just looking at the poll. It's at 90% right now for Disney Fangirl, and that seems a little over the top for me. I agree that the professional Disney Fangirls are the logical favorites, but not by 90%, not even close. That's too much. Sure, I think CJ might end up in Prem, but it's not a sure thing at all, the poll would make it out to be. But yeah, let's go through the rosters real quick. I mentioned CJ, he will be on Medic for professional Disney Fangirls. Then Neon's going to be his demo man. And then I think Wheeljack is the pocket right now. I think they've changed around a bit every once in a while.
I actually pulled up the team page, and it says Roma 1 and Roma 2.
Okay, that makes sense. I've been struggling to figure it out, and that explains it pretty well. And then Colling's going to be Roma 2, let's call him that. And then we have Toast and Ekelund on Scout. And it's pretty interesting, right? Wheeljack used to be in Scout, but they kind of rotated their roster around a little bit. So, yeah, some interesting stuff here. And it seems like this might be the magic pill that will finally get them into Prem. But why don't you take us through Crever?
Yeah, the Frenchies have fielded many rosters through the season, so I think they started playing Season 22 with some sort of this roster. Now the current lineup will be Carnix and Alien Smiley on Scout, Dro on Roma, Olga on the Pocket, Raf on Demoman now instead of previously played Soldier, and Muller is their medic pickup for this season. So that should be interesting. Two new players, I should say, on the Frenchies end here. Dro and Muller have been picked up for this season specifically, with the old medic and Roma leaving. Otherwise, everybody else has, experience in this team.
Yeah, Olga, of course. I think the first time everyone saw him was just playing Pyro in Prem, where he was murking, right? But he has actually shown himself to have a really good DM. I've seen him play Scout on a bunch of teams, and obviously Soldier, which he is playing tonight. So he is a bit of a jack of all trades, and he's a clever guy. And if you don't pay attention to him, he's going to just screw you over like a spy pick or a sneaky flank where he just jumps in and kills your medic in 2 shots. So definitely keep an eye on him. And then, of course, Probably the biggest surprise to me is Raph playing Demo Man. I didn't know he played Demo Man, but I know him as a soldier, but he has switched to Demo Man as well. So both teams kind of jostling their rosters around a little bit outside of what I would just expect.
Yeah, Raph, I think, picked up Demo Man, especially for last season where they were looking for Demo Man, didn't find one, so he picked it up instead. And I haven't seen too much of them over the past few months, but from what I've seen, he certainly improved on it quite a bit up until the last game I've seen, which was last week, which was consistent performance against another French Demo Man as well in Quaid's team in the match that they won against. So the improvement is there. The whole team needs it. They had an interesting season in Div 1. I can always bring that up because it's really funny. They made playoffs, they made third place without having won like single official with 6 points or even 4 points. Most they got was ties. But they, despite that, they definitely improved over the course of the season. And at least, sure, teams might have died around them, so you can make debatable, but in the end, they still deserved the position they made it in with the end result they got.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. That's almost impressive, just never winning outright. That's kind of incredible. Like you think at some point you play against someone that's just undermatched against you, just by the luck of the draw, but I guess not. Div 1 has the Swiss system, right?
Yes. Wait, no, the Div 1 is the exact same like Prem.
Oh, okay. So that's not even it. Yeah, then it's really incredible. All right, but we talked a little bit about which team is favored here. So I think we both agree that PDF is probably favored to win, but what do you think is going to be the key here for Crever if they want to have a chance to win this? What's the key for them?
I mentioned that they do like stamemates quite a bit, but on the other side, we also have incredibly good off-classes on professional Disney Fangirls, so they need to keep those in check. The snipers, the spies especially, both of those fairly common on PDFs, and they can't let those get the better end of them in the stalemates, and they need to be able to play their game and just close out the match through the means of being better in those stalemates. Mid-fights, of course, as well. An early lead is always good, especially if you play slow. So the mid-fights alone could have a huge indication, and I'm interested how we go.
And we are on Gollywas, and that's usually a pretty good map for Demo Man, right? Demo Man on Gollywas can have a huge impact if he just gets in there fast and just spams out big door with a bunch of stickies and he doesn't get pressured properly. Like that is just so annoying. I hate that as a soldier, just sitting there at big door, just taking endless damage, and then I'm just expected to jump the enemy team with 120 HP. And I expect Raph to have slightly better DM than Neon. I don't want to undersell Neon in any way, but I kind of just get the feeling that Raph could definitely out-DM him and maybe even have a bigger impact on middle a couple of times. And PDF overall, as far as I could see on it last time you were on Gollywas, they didn't have the most refined middle. It was kind of messy, and they had a bunch of different strategies, and it didn't seem like they had this one approach to the middle that really just sealed it for them every time. It was tended to shift quite a bit. So I think that's definitely a huge possibility for Crever to take advantage of. But we're actually going live here. Any final prediction here, Dom?
Ooh, I say 3-2 for Disney Birds.
3-2. All right, I'm going to go with a 5-1 in favor of Disney Fangirls. But we are going into this first middle. Looks like a Neon is slightly faster than Raph, but not a big deal. It's going to rain down some death into Big Door, but a Soldier in the skybox already here. Actually, both of them come out of Crever. Going to jump into Neon, but the Steeds were there just to pick him up already, and Raph is overextended as well. Everyone else from his team just has to get out now. They actually make it out of choke, but they're so weak. They might get chased out here. We see a Soldier and a Demo Man giving chase, but that's going to be the first middle going handily to professional Disney Fangirls.
You might have undersold Neon a little bit there and just single-handedly getting these kills for a scene, but they're still forward trying to chase the medic. Wheeljack loses his life. Neon is still alone for a little bit longer. Neon wants to kill. Scouts arrive for back. Will just save his life. Everybody, Disney Fangirls now. Intro gets another kill. Olga's super weak up top, but it doesn't matter. They're getting this phase here. Another kill onto Calling, and suddenly this few overextending players just is a bit too much for Disney Fangirls to be able to actually set up on second. Even Ubers, but
in the drop down,
sketchy.
He's in, and he's actually on the medic, and he's actually going to force it out. Cedar just popped immediately. I'm not sure if he was trying to save play or anything, but is Dro actually going to get out? Wow, that's incredible. So Dro went in through the drop down and then forced out the Uber and then got out alive. Connex will get caught in there, but losing 2 for an Uber force, and now they have a full Uber advance. That's pretty good. and now they're just kind of waiting it out here until they can get all the spawners.
Yeah, they knew exactly what wanted done. They wanted to force, they wanted to distract up front so the soldier could get in from behind. Now they just need to get...
Oh, Wiethoofd actually gets the force as well. He jumped off and dropped down and gets the force out. So great job by him, and then it just returns the favor, and everyone else from his team is just out. He just safely go. They're just spamming it out. And now it's pretty even, but we kind of entered the stutter step mode where it's about a 50% advantage for one team until they decide to pop it.
Yeah, just perfect timing. I was just about to say, as long as they can get in here without using, it's fine, but the moment that happens, we're just in this leapfrog situation, like you said, advantage now back to CJ and Co. They want to have better time getting them in now, or at least if they use, want to catch as much as possible, even if it's not maybe Mullah, as many people as possible surrounding the draw and drop down waiting. The spam will get the better of CJ eventually, and really far back once again, having the fronties have the easy time to get back into the own-mains draw. They're causing a bit of trouble. Trades with Neon Demo down is unfortunate. Might just make life easier here, and they immediately come back in with this.
Yeah, and Neon going down there is actually really huge because he's the one that's supposed to shut down the choke to make sure that no one can run in, but he's not able to do that. Alright, Soldier's actually hiding here. Wiethoofd, he's going to come in here and get the force out, I think. Oh my god, yeah, okay, gets it. Mullah goes down very weak there, but he does indeed force, even though he probably didn't need to there. So the starter step Ubers are in full effect here. Everyone else just keeps getting forced every time they push in, and now it's going to be CJ with a 50% advantage, but pushing out of last with that kind of advantage can be very difficult. Do you think they're actually going to go for it?
I don't know, this is not Uber, and they already have the engine now, so I don't think we see a PDF leaving, nor do we see anything else coming out of Frenchies right now, so this might slow down a little. They do want to at least peak, but the longer this takes, and the more hesitant they are about actually leaving it, the harder it gets, so you either need to be fully committed or just let it go immediately, and they're really slow to make their way up top. They do want to make this happen, but if they use here and don't catch Bula, it's going to be sketchy. Eklund gets caught by Sticky Trap too. And this makes life so much harder.
Like, that has to be the end. Just losing a scout like that without getting anything done. Yeah, they're just going to go back to last. Set up. They have a sentry gun as well, so they weren't even fully committed there. Yeah, I think kind of smelled it. I don't know if they were trying to maybe set up the scout to go in for the suicide. Something like that. But now we're just in full even Ubers. They have completely equalized. Now it's just a matter of how you decide to play this. So how do you think that Crever are going to break this?
Well, first of all, you need to get rid in some capacity of the gun. If not, you need like the biggest point distraction you can possibly hope for to get the gun in the meantime, and then possibly force on the medic. That's like the most common thing you see. Alternatively, you can try to sneak something in through main into secret and then play with that potentially. You have some options here, but they all end up like revolving around doing something on the point while trying to get onto the medic in the end.
We actually see a small trade here. Karnax tries to see if he can sneak his way into water, but Colin will shut him down, but he will lose his life for it as well. But pretty even here. We do see some token spam coming in. Of course, it's always... You have to expose yourself at least a little bit in order to get this in. And it's very difficult to jump in with the sentry gun being there. And it's a very strong sentry gun spot for denying jumpers, right? Because you sometimes see the gun being placed slightly somewhere else. Khan actually went spy and bumps into Ekelund, who's kind of run behind. So he is just in deep. He's taking a scout 1v1 with Neo, but Neo will take him down. And Neo, of course... Wait, Neo's not on the roster, is he? Or did I just miss him?
No, Neo is murking. Or who's missing is... Who's not here? Alien Smiley is not here.
Oh, right, yeah.
Neo is on the already established Premiership French team. Of
yeah,
which I don't remember the name because it's too French for me to remember.
Yeah, I'm in the exact same boat. I literally read it like 2 minutes ago and I've already forgotten. And Khan is going to go like... They weren't expecting the second time, so he has gone spy again. He's currently sitting inside the sneaky area-ish. He's just kind of waiting for his opportunity to move forward. That opportunity is now. He's going to make his way up the stairs into the spawn area. And this is a great spot to uncloak. We'll see this kind of play work all the time, but currently, CJ's actually on the other side of the point. And so I think Connor's just going to have to settle in there and
CJ comes his way, but it does make life much easier. There's a gun in the way, a demo, and a scout, and eventually something will bump into him.
Oh, they just checked for Karnax. Like, so they definitely suspected. I don't know if they know if someone bumped into him or... No, Karnax, he has 100 XP. I assume it's because of his knife choice and not because he took damage. But, like, you can see, like, they're actually spamming him.
There he goes. He finally did take damage, and that's it. And the longer you don't really do anything, any sort of pressure here onto last, the more suspicious it gets. And if they can't see a dot, they can't see sniper sideline, then it's just gonna be a spy any day of the week.
Duo gets taken down by a spam pipe there from Neon. Neon actually peeked out pretty far and took him down. So now it's 2 players down. That's going to mean that everyone else is just moving back for Wiethoofd. They're really struggling to break this defense here from professional Disney Fangirls. And you can see they're sending out at least their scouts to probe right now. And yeah, Ekelund, he will not find any opening. He's going to just look out, doesn't see anything. And they don't manage to send out a soldier either. And Toast is still on Engineer. So as it is, crisis averted. Wiethoofd, they can go back and they're going to give up on this buy. Probably a good idea for now.
You can see how like conservative they're trying to approach this. They don't want to like have too many risk into last right now. At most spy dies. They unfortunately timed it that like 2 pings went down at the same time, but they don't want to try to lose too much. They want to keep control of this for as long as they can and just have as many chances as possible, even if none of them are maybe the best ones, as long as they can continue doing so.
The Synagogue just went down, so that could definitely open it up for soldiers to jump in, and that's going to be exactly going to happen. Two's in here. He actually gets the force out of CJ there. I think CJ didn't see him, so he just kind of panicked, and probably definitely didn't need to do it, but he didn't have perfect information there, and they get the force out, so great job. Just taking down the Synagogue is key, as you mentioned, and just a slight lapse of concentration there. A lot of soldiers come in through the balcony. Kolinko's going to see if he can save the day here, but Rula holds on to the Uber. He gets pretty weak there. He was like on 25 HP, took some fall damage, and you never know with fall damage. That's like a random number, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it has like some like damage variety it can have, like a little bit of a multiplier. But, as we speak, death of Colling wasn't too bad. The damage was negated by a pack, but it took a while to get taken in choke. So the spawns are back up, Colling's back on the field. 6v6 on the last push, and the Pyro and Gun are back on the field. Denying a lot of time here. Wheeljack will go down, but they just don't get an entry at all.
Yeah, that Pyro played it perfectly, and this is what happens when you try to push into Highlander maze, you know? They're just gonna push you back. They're still gonna go in for it, though. They jump a sword off to the point. Coley goes down. Cedar's actually being pressured. Now he's gonna have to Uber. There's Uber points. Definitely gonna force everyone back, but Wiethoofd, they might decide to come back in. Looks like they're just all the riverside, and they are gonna do some aggression. Wiethoofd wins his fight in the water. He's pretty weak, but the Demoman's just in with a scout here. This is so aggressive by Wiethoofd, and they are actually winning the fight quite a bit, but some respawn is gonna come in here as well. It's going to scare up people, and eventually, with a lot of trouble, they're eventually going to just fight this off.
They did play it safe enough, though, to keep Muller alive, where CJ died, and even if he didn't die, they already had advantage, so the plan B was in place either way. Now it's even better. Now it was, instead of a 50% advantage, it's an 80% one, and they can effectively just try again, and that's a really good quality to have in last pushes. If it doesn't work, make sure you can try again. That's what we've seen in like the sack attach before, and now...
Yeah, they're gonna go into the main, just immediately up here. Dodgers and Pyros, I don't think there even was one, but they're gonna put a little bit time on the point. Actually, they bleed off. They haven't killed anyone with this Uber. They were just everyone from Professional Disney Fangirls. They were just water. And eventually, Ula will even go down to Wiethoofd, who came in with the flank. It looks like it's going to be a soldier to try to make his way onto CJ, but he goes down as well, so just a failed push completely there.
Yeah, just rushed. They didn't see where people were when they popped in and just didn't find anything with the Uber, but they also didn't find Olga yet behind lines in lobby, wanting to get back, get spotted on the way, but he's already on his way to the point. Wiethoofd is there, has to deny it, and they get Karnix on the way too. Delay second maybe. People are a bit disconnected here. Scout on second all alone, needs some help, will get it in form of Ekelund and Colling, jumping in, getting the kill onto Neo 2, 3 down right now on the backup / force attempt onto CJ or the last point, and with that, finally out of last year, patience paid off.
So far, it just seems like Wiethoofd is completely unable to break PDF's last hold, and that's a big issue because you actually need to win last pushes in order to win the game. And oh my god, look at this Uber. Comes in, picks down the medic. Mula's not able to get out time. He was trying to go up top, but he just realized way too little time that he couldn't quite make it in. But Neo actually snipes down the medic. The Merc coming in strong there. He's still in spawn, trying to snipe players out. But that is a huge pick, and now it's just a fight for everybody. And Wiethoofd is definitely winning out on this. It's a pretty messy fight with a lot of people dying, but they definitely won out on that with the medics not coming in huge from Neo.
Yeah, it's not much advantage to Muller, but it's better than nothing. Muller spawning there actually disconnects himself from Neo going to mid, so never mind any of that. Advantage pretty much gone entirely, but hey, you got the medic. It's failed push for the other side. They still have to check down for another second, but I don't think that's something they want to play off too much. However, they do rotate Victor with 3 people on the heels, trying to see if they can spot anything overextending in a way, but so far nobody's in the plate.
kind of like this decision to just kind of go for plays before Ubers really come into effect. We even see Rowe trying to make a play in big door, I think, or sorry, in choke, while everything else was going on big door. I think that was just a big distraction, to be honest. But now Colling's going to go in here. He doesn't find a very good angle. He's going to find himself in the low gun. Actually gets shotgun down by Olga there, so he's on shotgun roam or pocket eye for sure. And that's not going to end anything. But yeah, it's just even Ubers, and it really just seems to me like, at least the last time around that I watched PDF, they were really slow to start. Alright, like the first 10 minutes on Golly was the last time around, they were just awful. They went down like 3-0, and then eventually came back and made it 3-3. So I think they might just be slow to start out here.
Well, an Olga pick might be something that they can work with. They do probe a little bit through choke. Eklund can't really find a good angle of approach with everybody rotating back up top to hold choke with draw together. And that will slow things down to complete hold until Olga spawns. So that's not the thing that they've been looking for, and if that's not enough, then they need to do a lot more work to find an entry point here.
Currently they're just kind of spamming. I'd like to see them maybe buff some people into big door while just keeping a single person to hold the choke. The choke is so difficult to actually push through, but both teams currently, they're just, like, it's just Ekelund right now just kind of peeking in and trying to see if he can do anything, but there's really no action there. And I think it's just because the Spy, but oh no. Oh, poor Spy. And Olga, he tried to get in there, but he just went in through choke, and yeah, there was a scout there, just bumped into him, shot him a little bit. So they definitely know about it. I'm going to assume he's going to run back to spawn, and yeah, he's making the walk of shame all the way back that he got found out. You know, you think Frenchies would be good at Spy. You know, it is the nationality of the Spy, but nope, not this time around. So maybe he's going to try to see if he can do anything else. Maybe a banner or something?
That would be the first time. I'm surprised he didn't try to do anything on PDF off the knowledge that there's a Spy, because knowing that's a Spy makes it so much harder for a Spy to do anything, even if, you know, he walked back to spawn, but they can't know that. So for all they know, there might still be a Spy around that doesn't do anything, and that's just 5 people on mid at that point, so it would have been nice to see something happen there, but again, they're just being really patient in these stalemates as well, and just see what happens to them first.
Oh, they've done the thing where they run a scout behind. You see Karnax, he's in there. He's going to try and take a 1v1 with Toast. Toast not falling for the bait, though. But now there is a scout behind lines, and that is super annoying to deal with. And they've actually sent 2 players back here. And Karnax, he's just hiding in there. And there we go. He actually gets found out. And he gets 1v2. Colin's going to take him down. And there we go. Unfortunately for the Frenchies, they didn't realize that there were actually 2 players sent back. If they realized that, they could have done things in big door. Now we have a soldier in drop down. Colin's going to make it in here. Actually gets in really far, and he actually gets the force out. Mula didn't trust his team to kill him fast enough. And then now he's going to have a single soldier trying to come in here, but he just gets shot. Oh my god, he gets it with the shotgun!
Shotgun pays off yet again. Olga getting the drop. Neon taunts for the pipe, but it doesn't matter. The Mad died before that. And Colin on top of that is still down now, so if there ever was a window of opportunity to try to play from, then now's the time. Wilczek out top, everybody else still fairly passive on second, trying to just throw in some damage. None of them really hitting too much of that, and from big Neo and Joe just storm in and get the kills themselves onto the still on second positioned players.
Coming in with the flank, they're doing a lot of work, and they're actually just going to move all the way into last here. There's no such thing as waiting for Ubers in France land, that's for sure. But they're just in here, and they actually get calling as well. Raph surviving, that's really huge. That means he can stake into point. Now players are just diving onto it. But there's actually a lot of kills coming in here. There's a heavy come from Toast. Can he get in there? But now the Uber finally comes in, but it's just going to be a single dude with a shotgun and a stick. Can he do it in time? No, there's a fully buffed heavy. There's just no way. But they actually get out. Wow. That was a pretty good escape there from Olga, especially considering that he doesn't have the gunboats.
And that was like everything that was good and bad about the Frenchies' attempts to get to last, like in one single push. They just rush this in, don't have a clear target, try to play the point, but also try to still get the kills. So none of that really happens too well. And the TJ survives the situation that he really shouldn't in the end. Despite them having Uber, they just rushed it a bit too much. But they also, yet again, have the ability to just get themselves out of there if the situation occurs. So sure, most of them died, but Muller, the next most important one, will stay alive here once again. So they already have 60% on second as the push attempt comes in yet again into second by PDF. And Scout dying and killed this push last time. So far people are staying alive, but the advantage is dwindling really fast.
Village's going to go in for the Sky Bomb, and that will get everything else. It's actually a really early pop right here, and that's going to force everyone else out, and they will manage to cap second here, but already Wiethoofd, they have rotated into big door. They're going to come in here, and now they're going to Uber, and we see he's actually caught. He's going to rotate into middle. Neo's caught, so he's going to go down for sure. And we actually have this kind of back cap attempt going on. Neo is just waiting for the rest of his team to come in here, but they are occupied on the second point. Medic getting jumped nicer there from Mula, getting out actually into choke, but the middle has been capped out, and this whole back cap attempt has worked out really well, and they're just going to keep moving. So now they're standing up on this high ground on the second point, and man, this has worked out extremely well for PDF, much better than I anticipated.
Yeah, the thing that went majorly wrong there for the Frenchies is just the draw jump didn't get much damage off of his jump, instead of just playing from choke, cutting off the exit by just purely existing in the choke area. By jumping, even if he got like a kill, he's still allowed to escape through choke, allowed for the backup, while the push came from Victor instead, and way this just all turned around entirely. It still mostly even was a gun is up as well, so this won't go out of control much more for the Frenchies, but it gotten this far, so BF probably doesn't want to let this slip out of the hands now.
Even Uber's set up once again. Let's see if the PDF are better at pushing last than Crever is. They've got a sniper coming in here. Let's see where he decides to go. You know, you could go for the hero shot. You know, I call it the Thalos shot, or the spot on the lip in Riverside. You can go for main. Looks like that's what Egelon's going to do immediately. Mula is standing in basically the best spot to avoid sniper, so I suspect that they know about it. There's a single soldier that spams him out, so that's a really nice spam bot. But you can get Mula out of that if you really want to. So yeah, they definitely know where the medic is, and that's just some really nice information. And Mula actually taking a bunch of damage. There is, however, some buildings to deflect and heal him back up again. You know, so that's what you do when your healer is hurt. You just build another healing structure and heal him back up.
Yeah, and yet again, another stalemate, this time, like you said, with more sniper and a lot of options that you have, but the Frenchies don't want to let them. You said they can spam. Olga takes it a bit further, just walks into main, walks up there, gets this sniper before the defending soldier can do anything about it. So they really don't want to have to deal with these snipers on the last defense here anymore. All the way to second, it is for PDF for a little while. They're being really careful about this right now, and I can't blame them too much. But on the other side, Frenchies merely just send Olga into lobby to see what's up there and don't take too much of a risk there. Which again, I can't blame them for. This can go wrong really badly if you fail a shot of second, and you don't want to let the other team just get away with you losing the round for them.
Yeah, well, we were seeing kind of the pro land setup right now. There are two soldiers, so it's just there's no scouts right now in 6v6 TF2. That's kind of odd. But you know, if anyone can break a Highlander's hold, surely it's PDF. But actually they lose two players there in the top lobby, and Olga just moving in here super aggressively, pushing people back onto the middle. It's just a single sniper defending CJ, so they're just gonna have to back off, and that's a full-blown push out. That was a really impressive push out coming out from Crever.
Yeah, just as we talked about the implications of overextending into second as the defending team, the opposite team here did just that, lost too many players too quickly. Eklund gets a quick snipe though, makes life a lot more uncomfortable, wants to take a more aggressive peek from Victor as well. Can he hit another one? Not quite yet, but Karnex feeds into the side, wants to get rid of the sniper, just gets rid of himself, and this makes life so much more uncomfortable. With these two picks, Ubers have been popped. PDF wants to establish positioning onto second, and he loses the demo man now, and that makes life a lot harder trying to do just that. And with that kill onto Neon and a sniper still on the field, they can't be too aggressive with this. Viljack wants to wrap around onto Mula, get some good shots, but it's not enough.
Pyro goes down as well, but Toast will die for it as well. Now it's a 4-on-3 fight here in favor of Crever, so they're going to jump in very aggressively, force everyone out through choke. Coling will take a lot of damage, but yeah, he's never making it in through that choke. So just slowly muscling him out. They're losing the demo man to the Pyro. Definitely made it so that Disney Tangles, they lost that fight. You know, when you lose demo man in big door, you're not going to win big door when they have a demo man just spamming you out. It's just demo man heaven. That's that whole area. So a nice pick coming out from the Pyro of all things. And Viltic's going to see if he can hide in the corner here and catch him overextended in big door, but they're probably going to have to wait a bit. Oh, there's a scout, but he's just behind lines already.
But he just drops down for Total instead, gets Karnex too.
Oh, the
perfect
double
timing.
Kill. Yeah.
There we go, they wanted to play with 2 kills before, now they have the chance again to do just that, although on the other side of the map. Still trying to go in through big door anyway, while 2 people try to contest show. Calling goes deep, can't find too much. CJ just pops in for good measure. Olga's weak and not connected to heals, neither is Neo. They're weak and down for that, and Mula gets maybe forced as well. Is super weak, and Rough is not with him at all. Mula just losing players all over the place. Karnix and Draw are spawning now, but it's too little too late for mid at least.
They did save the Uber, and I kind of questioned this decision, but maybe it's going to work out. They're going to lose middle and probably second as well, but they're going to maintain the Uber. But it's going to be very difficult for them to actually push out with this, so probably not worth it, all things considered. Olga's actually being super aggressive. He's just being like shotgun Roma right now. He's pushing out very aggressively, and they have actually Ubered out here, taking down 2 players. They don't want to lose second for free, and I do like that, so maybe I was a bit harsh on them there. And it looks like PDF, they're just completely out through choke here, so they're not even going to be able to hold on to the middle. So it does work out in the end here, but they are left with a disadvantage, and CJ, he's getting ready to come in here, but they are down both soldiers, so they're not going to be able to have those jump in and do a lot of damage in this push.
Yeah, they need to wait some more time for those to come up, which gives Muller more time to build his Uber, and as long as they leave quickly enough so that they don't get caught by the Uber, but still have Uber by the time the other Uber finishes, they can pop in back into mid immediately the moment CJ's Uber's fades, and I think that's what they're trying to do. He draws as well, trying to get behind lines. Neon dying as well, gets dropped from the Uber. CJ indecisive as to where he wants to go to, and Virgil just gets left alone. Muller doesn't even need to use here, and suddenly this is all even worse than I would have imagined.
And Duo even surviving, he came in for the flank, which turned out to be unnecessary, but he didn't get punished for it. And now CJ, he's caught on second. He wants to make it out up top. Can he do it? He's being spammed up so hard. No, he's not able to make it out. There's an absolute slaughter. That Uber was a disaster. Mueller's going to survive as well. Holds on to his Uber. He was down to 50 HP, being shot at, but he held on to it. Balls of steel. Just holds on to the Uber. Now they're going to be ready to push in onto this last point, and this is looking like it's finally going to be it. Like many men up, Uber advantage. Surely this time around, they're going to be able to take it. Put pressure on the point. Tota's gone down. Everyone's just diving onto it. And now we have the demo man Raph on the point. He's going to hit some pipes, but CJ, can he come in here? No. Mueller's going to get the final saw, and there we go. 1-0 after like a 25-minute round. Crazy back and forth with so many failed last pushes, but finally Volkwehr have done it, and they are upsetting what the majority thought was going to happen in this game.
Yeah, they are taking a nice, comfortable 1-0 lead for a game that, as you mentioned, had a few stalemates, had a lot of back and forth, but a long round like that can have really bad implications for another team trying to rush it now.
Raf's gonna get rushed down immediately by Toast. No one was there to help him. Drows in the skybox, but not really able to get into good position. He's gonna get taken down as well. Complete disaster over middle here. So PDF, they're gonna take this middle very quickly.
I said rushing it could be a bad idea, but it seems it works out perfectly. You down immediately and just everything crumbles after that for the Frenchies getting all the way to second already. Having that for last, they could have a quick response here, and they definitely need one. So this push has to stick now, and we had a really sketchy conversion rate on the last pushes so far for both teams, so they better have some sort of plan here.
Yeah, let's see. I feel like they haven't had a proper last push here, where everything's just set up and everyone's ready and they have an Uber advantage. So this is kind of a new thing. They're going to run the scout into water, and I think he's trying to take down the demo man down there. And it looks like Tush will actually go down in the water, and this push has completely failed. Everyone's just getting stuffed in the riverside, and they're all just down. Is there some people in water? I think there are. Yeah, there's still 2 players in water here for PDF, but they both get taken down full wipe. They only killed 1 player on that push. What went wrong there, Dom?
They just got completely stuffed on entry. You can't even say that the push failed, because I don't think it ever really started, to be honest. And it just was a complete disaster now. They just didn't see it coming, and now it's a complete turnaround. Muller with a huge advantage, almost has Uber already. There's sticks around, but they're careful about that. They have time to get into mid before the Uber gets anywhere close to even, so they just spot the sticks, look for jumpers. The question is if they will see a Viljack coming in. So far they will. Karnik just drops down into drop down, will trade in the end unfortunately, but that's better than losing a medic. So they will take that one slowly, inch the way over the point, and they still have the threat of an Uber coming without much of a threat of force, but Ralph drops down and they find themselves in front of Toast. Will end up being a trade, but it's really, really sketchy.
Yeah, the Volkwehr, they're trying to run into big door behind them because they just assume PDF are going to retreat, but now when they don't retreat, things might go wrong, but CJ does end up getting caught out quite a bit. He does manage to escape with his life for now, but everyone else are just really far forward and they're so weak, and looks like they just barely managed to hold on. There's people just funneling through the choke, and yeah, they didn't manage to actually do anything in the middle. Everyone else, like from both teams, just seem to not care about this middle, and as a result, just looks like PDF's going to win this fight, and now they have a full Uber to push with.
Yeah, that was really fortunate as well, that the Frenchies were desperate to kill CJ there, and ended up just walking into a sticky choke point. Neon picking up 2 kills for 1, basically. Big advantage into second. If not last, it's going to be sketchy into last, because the advantage is dwindling 60 on Muller right now, even less by the time they're actually in. So if they want to do anything here, they would have to play around either killing Muller or getting out to kite the enemy Uber.
They're just going to Uber in. They're not going to wait for anything. I like this decision. Uber's done it, and to have a scout on the point. They actually put us so much time on them. Nobody could get down there in time for Wiethoofd. And we have a game, Dom. With 3 minutes and 33 seconds remaining, it's 1-1. Anyone's game.
Yeah, again, like I said, the rushing it could be bad, but the few times they did it this round, it paid off on mid, as well as here on last, just going in constant with like a plan, just get on the point, block it off with the Uber, not let them get any space on last, so we can just camp for free, and works out brilliantly here.
Yeah, let's see if the demo man can stay alive here early on. Looks like Olga's going to go and see if he can get the demo man, but he could get taken down very quickly. The single soldier and drop down, but he's been spotted as well, and he's down very weak. He's going to get taken down eventually. Connex goes in very aggressively. He takes down 2 players with the help of Neo, but definitely a mid that's going in favor of PDF, and now it's just a matter of can Mula escape this middle.
And so far it's not looking good. Everybody already on the hunt, get the kill onto the medic. Raph is still alive, but because for how much longer? The answer is not very much. Olga spawns already up his early death attempt onto the demo here. And he can't do much about it. It's just a bit too late still, despite the early death. Another convincing mid-win for PDF, and the soldiers control space really nicely, I would have to say. Olga denied early, the drop the play got completely denied, and the moment that was done with, they just jumped up and deleted people that were close to the point. So really well done by the blue soldiers here, getting them the mid-win, getting them a chance to get in the lead with only 2 minutes left on the clock here.
Yeah, this would be huge, and I'm hoping they rush it, because you've been questioning them every time, but I say just keep on rushing it. It's been working. There's a pyro that they have to deal with. They haven't made it in too far here with this through the lower door. They take down the sneak up. The pyro is still alive. There we go. He's finally going to get taken down. So 2 kills so far, but they are trading pretty evenly, and that's not what you want to do in these last pushes. And now everything else just turning into complete chaos. There's a soldier in water, but he will actually get taken down, and CJ has not been able to escape. Demo man not able to escape either. It's just going to be toast in Riverside, but that's actually pretty nice. He takes down a soldier. Now he's in water. That means that nobody else can push out. So if nothing else, he's probably not going to be able to cap. That would take a miracle, but he's just slowing things down a lot, and he's just hanging out in water. There we go. He's finally going to get cleaned up, but that bought so much time for his team.
It's really unfortunate to see that Disney Fangirls seems to not have too much of a goal on these last pushes. They want to get in, they want to get the gun, but beyond that, it seems like they just kind of wing it. The play under the point wants to come in, but it's just a soldier against a soldier, so it's an even fight in the end. It doesn't favor them at all, and that's what you want. You want to have just constantly advantageous with this Uber being established in the last push, but they just can't seem to get the hang of that right now, and it gets the Frenchies all the way out of last with this Uber advantage, so they're just too afraid to contest here, and it will be used into mid. Uber popped straight over the point, nothing much found yet, and it might be a huge silver line. Wilczek gets spotted, but he is on the escape for now with an Uber coming in shortly from Dog.
Yeah, and this might be a mistake from the French team, because when the time is this low, it's very unlikely that they can actually get last, but now they've actually been picked off. Vilja comes from behind, takes down the medic. It's about 30 seconds remaining. A bunch of time on middle here for PDF. They could actually very realistically kept last, and there's actually 2 players on the back cap, which means that they're not able to go in here. They could just get completely rolled back here. I think the safe play would be to just take it into overtime, but they went for the win, and now they could get punished by it. See a scout and Victor Khan is going to get taken down. And there's a pyro on last. I think they just want to get everyone else. There's about 5 seconds remaining. People are diving pointed from PDF. So far they have no luck. Scout's going to just keep on jumping onto it. It looks like Wiethoofd will barely manage to hold on, and we're going into overtime.
And it's the third one between these 2 teams in 4 officials. I don't know the exact number of maps they play against each other, but that's an interesting statistic for sure. It just shows how close this is between these 2 teams. And definitely deserved to be as close. From how the game went, it was so back and forth at the beginning, and Muna's only 1 point short. I just look at the score here of 100 points, so that's a bit sad.
Oh, poor Mula. It's a bad game when you don't reach 100 points. That he should have stood on point a bit. But yeah, before we go into a 25-minute overtime, I think we should just look at some quick logs to see if we can glean some information coming out in here. So is there anything that jumps out to you in these logs, Don?
Let's see. I'm going to see both pocket scouts taking a lot of hits, which is surprising because of the number of stalemates, so that a lot of the building came in. So that's not necessarily anything out of the ordinary. I think if I look at CJ's logs, I see deaths after charges 4, major advantages lost 3, both of which, major advantages lost is just the stalemate thing. They were on last at the beginning quite a lot. They couldn't do much with these Ubers. They got in the end, so that's where that comes from. devs after charge oftentimes means that like something goes wrong in your pushes. If you exchange or go into last with something, your medic just doesn't survive it. And that went a lot better from when I mentioned it a few times, especially at the beginning of the game when they had more map control. That when they tried to do stuff in the last, Mullah tended to survive it much more so than CJ did on their pushes. And, the 42 difference here definitely shows that pretty well, I would say.
Yeah, I want to point out that Neon had a pretty rough game. You can see he had 12 deaths compared to the DuMmTm Wrath, who had 10, which doesn't seem all that different, but like there was a lot of pushes when Neon were getting picked off, and that
there was one like big thing where they tried to push out of last, or into second with, I should say. They got 2 kills, wanted to push in with Uber exchange, and if you exchange there with like 2 down on the other side, it's so easy to just establish space with the Uber, corner them, and just destroy the host Uber. Or either that, or they just leave and know what's up. Don't even try to take a losing fight, and that's such a winning position. But they ended up dropping Neon in that position, and like you said, that's such a crucial moment where your demo just can't afford to die, and just completely wrapped around that entire round back into the Frenchie's favor.
And I think the last thing is this Toast actually had a pretty bad game. He had like 100 DPM, so he was spending a lot of time on engineers, just kind of sitting around, and he went 9 for 12. And, you normally expect him to do a lot better than that. So I think we're going to have to see him do a lot more damage and a lot more, just have a more active role in hitting his shot coming into this playout. Or golden cap, I should say. Right, like, this is the time to be clutch Toast. Do it for Denmark. Do it for CJ. Get
I knew there would be some Denmark fight. Well, there we go, mid-fight of the golden cap.
Yeah, and it's actually going to be really standoffish. No one really doing anything. Colin's going to be the first person to go down, but both teams just kind of waiting it out. Looks like Egelin's going to try to see if he can sneak his way forward. Toast is actually in elbow right now, but he will get taken down, so not able to turn things around. And there go the monster bomb coming in from Duo. Olga's going to follow up, and immediately there's going to be a single scout remaining. There we go. Colin is spawner. He's trying to make his way to mid, but now he's not going to be able to do anything. So really strong mid here for Crever. They're setting themselves up for success.
Yeah, that was really strange by Disney Fangirls too, because they had really good coordination in the last few minutes, but on this one they just tried to rely on single plays. Colin wanted to make his way through drop down, and after he already died, Toast just tried to take matters in his own hand, tried to just walk up, elbow, be the hero himself, but it just was so easily spotted. Colin got denied by his soldier and couldn't go anywhere. Scout got cornered by 2 people in elbow, and that's already 2 down. And then the follow-up as well, which is some really nice jump by Johan Olga, just made a complete stop the mid-fight to the point where it should be a big advantage to push into last, but they're really slow to cap here, so CJ already has 80%.
They've definitely been a bit too slow here. Maybe the nerves are getting to them a little bit. Could have been a lot faster. But here comes the Uber. They're going to take down the Centigon immediately. Good focus fire there, but the counter Uber does come out here. The Uber is definitely better for CJ. We see a single scout trying to make his way in here. And CJ, he will back off just in time. Good coordination and timing there from him. Going to get in. And there's... now we're just in the same situation before. Even Uber's Connex will go down, so now maybe perhaps a time for a counter sack. Yeah, Colin's going to be the one that goes for that. Actually gets down Raph, that's a demo man, but Colin not going to get any more than that. But the demo man being down, like I say, just green light for the soldiers to jump out of here. Do something.
I mean, maybe there's an opportunity, but Colin's death is so late. Raph's already back up. It's just the spawn wave was just not in the favor. Colin's in a weird turn of events, lived for too long after his sack for it to be really that valuable in the end. He spawned so much later. Ruff's already back on the field before he's even up, so the number situation after he would sack would just not be great if you fail. So they don't take the risk. Toast considers by actually just checks spawns what is on which class, because we've seen off classes here before, so they need to stay on the toes here, and Heavy is back on the field after that. Got checked, nothing to be seen here, and we're back in the stalemate that we've seen so many times, and they've never actually successfully broken it. They've gotten the only round they did get basically through like a fight in mid they won.
Yeah, they did the classic, this is basically a second push, and then we also happen to make it all the way into last because they're still dead. That's almost what happened there. And so it's just, it's just very unfortunate situation for Crever where, like, yeah, they're in a pretty good spot, but they've been in the spot before and it has never worked out for them so far. And I will say that I think overall, as the game has progressed, PDF has got better and better. So, even though this is looking technically good by having pushed them all the way back to last, I'm feeling kind of nervous for Crever because they have struggled a lot to really break this. But The last time around, they killed the sentry gun and then they jumped in a soldier and got the force out, right? And
well, that
there's
is
no gun.
Yeah, exactly, because there's no gun. So it's just a matter of finding the sort of play you want to make. But every passive right now, nothing's really much. And River Carnix only now arrived. Looks like they might have made a decision here. And granted, they do have some time to make that decision and make it the best one they can possibly make. And like you said, they need to, because so far the results are against them in the sort of last push scenario. They're still heavy, which is big order to get past here. The 450 just meat sponge on the field. So far, it's Olga to try, but he gets air shot and then denied by the heavy. Nothing much coming of that. I wouldn't be surprised if the All-Class also picks up a banner of sorts here.
I'm kind of hoping to see a banner. We haven't seen it at all, but it makes a lot of sense. And Colling's actually going to go for the counter sack, but he gets shut down just as hard as Olga did as well. Yeah, let's
actually
see.
Have Carnix getting under the point at some point here through River. Wants to make the play now that Calling is still dead. Puts up some pressure there. Everybody goes back to deal with that, but there's nothing much else that they can play off here. Eklund is going down in that 1v1, but nobody was there to do anything with that, unfortunately.
Yeah, I really wish they would have done something else other than just put the scout over onto the point. Like, normally when teams do that, it's because they're also trying to do something else, right? So if you jump in a soldier onto the medic and do that onto the scout, with the scout onto the point, then maybe the scout caps the point, or maybe they block the point but the soldier gets onto the medic, right? Like, there's more opportunities, and you force the enemy to make hard decisions, and when they make hard decisions, sometimes they will make bad decisions, and you kind of force them into making mistakes. But we didn't see that there, so I think that's kind of a good little example of how they need to step up their game in order to get into Prem, or if they want to do well in Prem, if they do happen to make it in there,
They want to get the chance in the first place here, so yeah, Olga just peeked around lower, but doesn't actually commit to anything here. And like you said, you need to have something with that to make it happen. This time another jump comes in all alone, no backup whatsoever, and again, just gets denied easily by a heavy and the stuff surrounding him. So unsurprisingly, nothing much comes of that, and that reminds me of like stuff I've seen from 7 recently, where they do so much more than most other teams so far, or recently on Kali Last. Like, there's like everything is happening at the same time. There's like something to point, something river, something main, something shutter. Just everything's happening at the same time, and like you said, it will force a decision, and it's so hectic that it's easy to be a bad one.
Toast is on Spy, but he bumps into a sniper, and usually that's a kind of favorite for the Spy, but he kind of got caught out there himself. He actually timed the door opening pretty well, but I mean, okay, he spotted the sniper. That positive kind of is going to go for the hero shot. Doesn't actually spot the medic at all, and he's not really being pressured either, so he just got more time than he knows what to do with. You can see he was just almost confused, like, oh, there's nothing to shoot. What do I do? I got into the spot. This is where things normally happen, but then nothing happened. And Toast has respawned right now, and so we didn't get punished for it. But now we do see the sniper. Can he do it? There's a scout onto the point. There's actually a soldier there as well. And
Toast players all over the place. Toast goes down. Olga gets put under the point eventually. People are trading. Carnix wants to peek in again. Walks over sticks to do so. Vilcek grab all the way around and will find the force eventually. Just as we talked about, they try to do more into last with the sniper, just putting them into tough spots and try to throw in stuff into last at the same time. But it opened them up the moment those failed, and Mula happened to get forced here, and that was the silver lining. So when they failed, there's nothing really happened to Mula. This time, this might be the crucial mistake to have happened here.
Yeah, they're going to push out. There's about 4 minutes remaining on round time, so still plenty of time, but it's more about this being a really big opportunity. You can see Connex, he's kind of waiting to run in through the shutter door. He's pressuring and just faking out, or at least just projecting the back cap there, and eventually they just end up going back there, Toast dying. That's going to just cause them to back off, and we are back where we started, with even Ubers and Voicover not being able to go in here. And yeah, we're down to 3.5 minutes now. These teams suck at pushing last. I think we can both agree on that. Toast's gonna maybe try some spy shenanigans again.
Yeah, he's way in position to do something here. He just needs to find something to actually commit on and not bump into people again. Neo is there. Neo is dangerously close to him, but so far Karnik is the only one losing his life. The Calling spams him out, wins the fight there, gets a kill, makes life a bit easier to try to spam, but with a spy, it's mostly onto him to make the play here. We opened the shutter door, though. I think Neo noticed.
Yeah,
he must be aware now. It's up to Vilcek to try to make some sort of play to have him get something done in the spy life, or at least get back out. But nothing really comes of it. He just forces people back to the lobby, which doesn't really help out Toast to begin with.
I think he's going to try and go on top of the point and then come in from behind the medic. And it's a very unusual spot to be actually have a spy coming in from behind the riverside, you know? Oh man, yeah, they are checking for it. Crever, they know what's up. And Toast, he's kind of been caught out again. He's not having success. Toast, of course, he is one of the best spies in the world. But so far, he's just being completely figured out. And okay, here we go. We actually have a big play coming in. That was like a 3-man sack. We had the scout on the point. We had 2 soldiers jumping in onto the medic, but they will not be able to find CJ. Toast made it all the way back into last. And this is an open invitation for them here to actually make it all the way out and do some things.
And it will be an Uber exchange, or at least an Uber from CJ to NT. Müller holds this much longer. Raf goes down though, doesn't get flash in the end. Might be a big take here, because the Uber would have been slightly better, but now they're just dropping plays. Neo goes down, but so does
Carnex onto the medic. He's done 100 damage to him, but not able to finish him off. And this soldier's going to come in. Can he finish the job? He's going to get popped into the air. Actually, he somehow didn't take damage from there. And we see Toast trying to chase down this medic. I think he's not going to be able to quite get him there. CT actually did end up going down. So we just have 2 scouts capturing it out. So it's basically positioning against heals right now. And usually heals will end up winning out in that situation eventually. But the question is,
it's a small advantage though. We've seen this before, going bad for teams trying to just like stay in the face of this. The Frenchies easily could pop in, get everything, or they could pop in, get nothing, and the counter Uber by CJ is just able to mop them up completely. So this is all up to how good or not this Uber is if it ends up coming in.
Duo hiding in big door here. He's gonna find us out and do some damage to him, but they both back up. Muller is about on 80%, so very soon he will be able to push. Question is, will they do it? We can see, because we're cheating and we have the full hug, that they don't have a very big advantage, and they almost certainly it's not big enough to actually push on. CJ's on 95%, but he is holding pretty close, and Viljak's holding very close himself. And he's still surviving. Okay, there we go. Finally goes down, but now comes to Uber. Gonna be a scout in here. I think the Demoman's about to jump in as well. Yeah, he does a ton of damage. Connie will go down as he tries to retreat. And overall, this has been a pretty good exchange for PDF.
Yeah, like I said, the Frenchies used in, and immediately afterwards, CJ just responds with a much better gunner, much more passively positioned. I don't know why they waited so long for that. I think they should have done that much sooner. Now it just is a response by PDF that's much better for them, trying to get into last. You see they're taking a lot of damage. Akelon already down, calling on the point, tries to drag people back, but it's too little too late, and they barely get a single kill out of that.
Yeah, they went in too aggressively. CJ goes down. So both teams, they just keep up this theme of not being very good at pushing last. Toast was in the water, trying to slow things down, but he gets taken down. Just going to be Neon in water, or in Riverside rather, and eventually he's going to die. There we go. Gets taken down, and it's going to be a full-on push-up. So, yeah, these last pushes, man. I kind of joked there was going to be a 25-minute golden cap, but I think I was right. Maybe.
Well, welcome to ECA, where we have 2 halves of map.
Yeah, pretty much what's happening here.
Well, yet again, Uber advantage to Mulan and Co. The Frenchies want to use India. Vilcek doesn't want to let them. Gets mostly denied himself, but the spam is there. Toast cleans up right at the end of that. Will get the kill onto Demoman, but that's not the force they were looking for. Toast just barely escapes with his life himself. But they didn't end up having to use for this, and that makes a huge difference. Now they can't leapfrog this point back as they did before. Now they will have to work for it a lot harder. CJ getting up on his Uber right now too, even Uber stalemate from mid to second.
It looks like they're positioning to maybe just Uber into them and take an exchange. You can see the way Ekelund's in there. Like, I think he's trying to spot Mula, and if they're close, he's just going to go, just pop on me, and we'll just take an exchange, and we'll make them flash a whole bunch, and then maybe we push. I think that's what they're kind of angling for, but yeah, Ekelund's just going to end up being taken down. Some nice aggression there coming out from Olga. And he will actually jump in as well, but nope, he got predicted pretty well. And Viljek on the flank. It's gonna just wait it out. Okay, I thought he was jumping in. He just jumped into the hiding spot, but he's kind of weak, so he's not able to do a whole lot. But yeah, the stalemate is real, and both teams are just waiting for the respawners before they make any moves themselves.
Yeah, this could be interesting. We've seen Frenchie try to get behind here aggressively before. Not too successfully, but it's been like the most that happened in that regard. Now for the stalemate, we see Viljek pick up the conch of all things. I think it takes 480 damage to build. Doesn't really have much going for that. I think he just hit the first shot there in the stalemate, maybe a second one on there, so he barely has a build up yet. And I don't know how well this will work out and how much they practice this. We've seen before, I believe, with a banner. So it should be interesting to see how it goes. It is about to know what the effect is here.
Olga's gonna go in. Oh, he gets spammed out. That's unfortunate. It's really difficult to make it way in there, and yeah, this will all help build up the content. I would say, like, Gollywash Choke is one of the better spam angles or places to get a bunch of free spam damage in like TF2 competitive sixes. You know, there's a lot of places. If you're like on Snake Water, it can be very difficult to build a conch when you're holding second to middle, right? But here,
yeah, definitely. You'd have to commit all the way to window maybe to have a good approach, or just go all the way through sword, at which point it's really easy position for you.
And this is much easier for Wheeljack to actually get some free damage, because you just have to push in a little bit, and then they kind of have to show them. So looks like the spy is still going on. Oh yeah, Olga has actually made his way behind, so he is tenacious. He didn't leave. Well, he did kind of leave, but then he didn't anyway.
And let's see if the spy can do anything this time. Surely they won't expect it the second time around. Eklund, as well as we've seen before, just really aggressive and choke all the time. Just really wants to catch somebody by surprise, hope to just W1 somebody down in the matter of seconds. But so far, I think today he hasn't had any luck with that strategy. Con should be built up by now as well. The question is if they want to use it or how. The answer is yes to the first question. The answer to the second question is going to, it seems.
And Olga, he's on top. He might do the Assassin's Creed drop-down stab onto the medic. He was looking for it, but he decides against it. But I mean, I have seen them check for him. So PDF, they suspect there's a spy, and they are checking for it.
But Wheeljack also can't do anything about it right now. He still has his banner on
I think
hold.
spotted him. He's like shaking his banner, like, ah!
He still has it on hold though, so...
But are they not getting it? Okay, there we go.
Now they are. Oh, he has the pop, but he's the only one that knew where he was. And it's the banner.
The long con from Olga gets him to pop his conch. There we go. And we see Colling actually coming in. Oh, he kind of gets stuck up on that lip in the window, so he couldn't get onto the medic. But here comes Wheeljack. He will also not be able to succeed in getting the wheels. Mula staying alive, and now there's 2 soldiers down. That means a lot less spam, both in Big Door and in Choke. So you can definitely make the players go in very deep. And now we actually see Toast being pressured by a scout. And here comes Uber Exchange.
We've seen before how this can go here, and so far it's the Frenchies manning this. They have at the moment, they can just down them out with 2 down. Spawner's not on the field quite yet, only now arriving to the help. They can't contest this too much from the second anymore. They have to rotate all the way at top, and they're already getting the Night Bear as well. This is how this was supposed to look like earlier, and the Frenchies make a good show of that. Free barrel use turns out to be pretty useful.
Indeed. the all big Olga play. So now we are at an Uber situation that are completely similar to what we've seen a lot of times before. Voikevers are trying to push last. Karnak's going to go down. Maybe he was just kind of aiming to go for a sniper. But Viljak's actually in behind as well. He will trade a little bit. And oh my god, Colling comes in, follows up on the damage, and Mula goes down as well. Colling has just destroyed everything. He's like on 5k. Everyone else have just exploded from that soldier. Just aggression coming in before the Ubers were even okay to be made, and now they're just going to roll in.
That's the beauty of a Golden Cap. You want to play it even more safe than regular time, but you also want to win even more badly than before, and you end up making mistakes you wouldn't do otherwise. And this time, it's all got caught by surprise here. Speaking of getting caught by surprise, Karnak catches out Toast there, gets the kill up lower, but he overextends so far into it that he ends up just getting picked up himself. Will go down. Neon jumps Choke as well, gets 1 kill, not quite the second one with Olga, but that's still fine. Soldier, Scout, Demo, all dead with full Uber advantage. So little risk of getting forced here, and it just makes life all the easier for PDF.
Olga currently on the battalion's back. No, it's a buff banner actually. It has no. It's on 50%. All right. It's a good thing we have a Wiethoofd. He can see the percentage. I can't with my HUD. My HUD is like kind of a pleb HUD. Just the best HUD in the world, PV HUD. But yeah, he's just going to be trying to build that. And Uber's actually going to come in here. It is a small Uber advantage. Mula doesn't quite have it yet, so he might not be able to save anyone. But Eklund goes into water, but it misses every single shot. And here comes the counter Uber in, and this looking like a failed push. Neon has gone down. That's a huge factor in these last pushes, and there we go. That's another failed push.
Yeah, they just approached this too much like an advantage push, like a full advantage push for that matter. If Mula was anywhere, had any less advantage or Uber on his Medican, this could have worked just fine. But the fact that they just didn't calculate for the enemy Uber here just made this all go down so much worse than it actually should have been.
Yeah, and we're now in an even Uber situation again. Man, this game is going to go on forever. I swear.
Probably.
Yeah.
I missed the times where we had that little rule of 10-minute golden caps, otherwise mid becomes king of the hill. That was fun.
Yeah, I kind of like that. It kind of made mid's last push is almost kind of a different dynamic to it. But yeah, oh well, it usually doesn't matter, but it does this time around. When you can't push last, it does kind of matter. There's a lot of action in big door. See two soldiers just hiding here, just trying to bait players in. The scout, I think, that's Toast, because Toast is taking a lot of damage. Like, oh man, I can't believe I'm taking all this damage. What a shame. I hope someone doesn't come in my face and try to punish me. And then there's like two soldiers running around the corner and trying to punish them. But no one's falling for it.
Olga still has spot banner, and he certainly did deal a lot of damage earlier. He still is doing damage. Prof follows up on that, gets Echo, and that's a starter pick for now. Olga toots his horn.
Oh, this is scary.
30-ish% damage increase is really, really scary. That makes getting the horse so much easier. That makes the rockets just do massive damage. But you need to hit them first, and Wilczek and Neon don't want to let him.
Yeah, that was just a suicide attempt, and it didn't do a whole lot. I would kind of like to see them maybe be a little more creative. You can send someone in through drop down, and he will get mini crits too, right? Because it goes through the floor, so you can actually
mini crits from behind. While the other guy is just like getting denied, like Olga did, but then this other soldier just flies in and deals like 130 with a close range direct.
Yeah, indeed. They're doing the big door thing again, trying to bait players in, but they're actually being hit by Dwo, so they know they're there, so it's not gonna work anymore. So just give it up, guys. And there we go. They spring the trap, but there's no one to spring the trap on. But they have to run a scout in behind lines, and he's actually gonna meet a soldier in close quarters. He's gonna get taken down by Dwo. So, at least they're trying things, but yeah, it's just not happening right now.
Here again, unfortunately, that's like such a common thing to do here as well, but it's just not working for you, those teams at the moment. What is working is Olga getting in here, getting the damage from drop down, jumping in, getting the force this time. They are hard pressed to do something with this Uber, maybe finding Müller, getting one rocket is to start getting second one. Will do the job just fine. Wilczek gets that, and now it's the other side trying to get something done with the Uber. They're already down 2 here, with Joe going down as well, making this fight so much better for PDF. Just the panic option in the Uber was so much better than the response one was on the Frenchies end.
Toast was in behind lines there, but he gets taken down. Man, this is never ever gonna end, I swear to God. They just can't push, and we are now back in here. I'm actually gonna take a phone call real quick, so I'm sure I'm not gonna miss anything. Be right back.
Well, you just already missed Alex getting completely destroyed by Colling. Tries to come in from behind, Colling just airshots him down into the ground, gets cratered. That's a quick kill, and CJ in all of this used so much earlier that he does have advantage. Not much, but maybe just enough to make a play here. So trying to get in from big door this time and try to make some magic happen. Spawns are in now, not quite on the field yet, and they just try to do stuff before that is the case. Trying to catch people, but the Frenchies are aware, try to rotate away as much as they can. Lose Olga on the way, but Muller has 90%. They want to take advantage of the push in back immediately from top, not wasting any time. We're catching Wilczek by surprise. Karnix will go down as well on flanks that here. Roth wants to contest the flank as well, but Big Dot has Neon and Colling just contesting him. 2v1 goes down, Colling goes down as well. 3 down to 2, one spawner comes up now, but Frenchies didn't have to use their Uber get back into second here, which makes all of this so much better, because now they have the ability to contest mid even more so than before. 50% only on CJ isn't too much to deal with that, but if they can escape the incoming Uber, if it gets used here, it's a really good position, so the force needs to happen, and they're spending so much to make this happen, but they're hitting anyone but Muller so far. It's just not quite happening. The soldiers are taking a lot of damage. Wilczek gets in close, not close enough. Toast as well, not quite finding the damage. Muller finally taking some spam, but it's just not working out for PDF. And in the end, they didn't have to use here. Dream destroyed for PDF. CJ has by now, so at least it wasted enough time to not be a push into second, which is the silver lining. Yeah, but it's obviously not quite what they've been looking for.
Did they win that? No.
You actually missed like much more so than would happen while you were still here. Maybe you should go away again.
Oh, my pleasure.
But yeah, off of the weird Uber fight, off of the force, we've seen CJ had about Uber, so they tried to use the Uber into mid and second even, and try to take the fight. But they're dropping players in big door now. CJ gets forced once again, but this is how it happened last time as well. CJ gets forced first, Muller second. If they can survive this, they can maybe make something happen with this, but they get forced back so quickly this time.
And Dwo will even win a duel up top with Toast, so that's gonna definitely slash any hope that PDF had of maybe pushing out of any kind. So now we just have Voikver trying to push last again. There's a long time until these will come in, and the last time around we saw Voikver, they were a bit too aggressive, or, well, I don't want to say they were a bit too aggressive, but they couldn't quite contain the pressure we have from the two soldiers, and they actually end up losing big before the Ubers even came into effect. They want to make sure that that doesn't happen again. They're kind of a bit more passive, a bit more apprehensive in sending their medic forward. You can see they're just building really far back with Mula. And they do, of course, have a slight Uber disadvantage, and they know about this as well. See, Wilczek actually trying to make his way out there, see if he can sneak his way in, maybe get onto the medic. He will not find anything. But I do think, is he on a banner? No. Yeah, okay, it's just Olga right now. What's his percent of that, Wiethoofd? Can you tell us? 29%. Cool.
It is interesting to note that this game has been going on for so long that they preemptively extended the Serve Me reservation just in case.
Yeah, the Serve Me reservation is running out in map 1. That's a new it's a new record, I feel. When does that happen? And Konak's actually going to jump in there just to get Wilczek up on that balcony, and he even makes it back out. So now, can they get in? There's a sentry gun that has actually gone down as well. So, I mean, this is all the space you need. Get someone in there. There's still a heavy. You know, you just see. I think Toast's entire mission in this game is just stand in front of the medic and just tank things. And at least people are actually jumping him this time around. I feel like at least half of Toast's kills in this overtime has been just heavy kills with people jumping into him.
To be honest. Just like everything just keeps jumping his way, and it's just so easy for him to just look at it and it dies.
I want to point out, this is map number 1. Like, they're going to be hilariously fatigued when it comes to map number 2.
Yeah, this is gonna be a long one. Imagine this going to 3 maps. You'll be here by tomorrow, still.
Like, people in chat are even getting like, end it, oh no.
This is why we need 10-minute gold caps, ETF2L, please bring them back.
Coling actually just jumps into everything, and Wilczek has kind of done the same. He's going to come in from behind. They should know about it. Yeah, there we go. They shot him down. You can just see the soldiers now just suiciding into them, and they have actually helped build the buff banner, and they're going to come in from Riverside. And this is the scariest spam ever. It does so much damage.
It gives you a huge really trying to go forward with this Wrath is so passive that like if I feel half the sticks don't deal increased damage. Nobody else is trying to anyway, so it's just 2 people dealing damage, and you could do the same amount of damage, even more, if you just spam with 2 soldiers and the Doubleman. So nothing much came of that in the end. They are just way too passive, that I would say.
Yeah. You know, at this point, I think teams are going, is Prem really worth it? Should we not just throw this map? You know, what's Prem anyway? Wilczek's going to go out for another suicide, and Toast is actually on Spy as well. So that means 2 players are technically down, but of course they only know about 1 of them. This Spy's going to make his way in. He actually gets bumped into there, but Konaks didn't realize it was his back. He backed into him. And it's actually a soldier in secret right now. That's a really dangerous spot, but Toast is going to come in from behind. Actually just going to pistol him down. And, I mean, Toast, he gave away his hand. But, oh well, he got a kill for it and a bit more pressure. So I like that both teams are just going, okay, screw it, we're not playing safe anymore. Let's just put pressure on and do stuff. You know, we're not sitting back anymore.
Maybe they learned something in the progress, and you know, like more effective ways than they've done before to actually make this happen that they're trying to make happen by taking some more risks. Maybe playing a bit more stupid in the process too, but you know, maybe if as long as they get punished for the really stupid stuff, they learn something in the progress. You never know. Maybe there's some good to be found here. So far, it's 2 teams having a spy each, plus a sniper on the field for the stalemate, so as much as we hope for this to go a bit faster here, we're back to off-classes in place though.
Oh my god, I got the GG lag. Oh. Alright. Toast was being found out on Spy here. Alright. Toast's gonna get taken down. And it looks like Ekelin's gonna run out, see if he can find a hole in the defenses. So far, that's not the case. Konak's actually on Sniper, seeing if he can get anything. Let's see where he decides to go.
He's so far back though. I don't understand. They need to make something happen here. Like they're in as much of long haul here as PDF is, so they're not benefiting from trying to not make things happen here. Eventually they move forward now that the backup cavalry is here to escort him around the map. And so far it's only Calling that's getting caught here, not by the sniper but by the backup. Instead Olga gets the kill there. Hero is peeking around main, the sniper is still struggling to find much of sideline. Wilczek in as well, spotted immediately, tries to get anything out of that spy life, but nothing is coming of it. 2 down at the moment, Calling spawning any moment. but it's the moment where they might have the opportunity to make something happen, and people are not on the heels, right? That is completely alone. Eklund and Neon just gets jumped on by the U, but CJ forced to use more or less.
Neon going down is such a huge deal. There's no stickies on the point. Dro's gonna just put himself on the point. People just funneling into it. I think they might have finally done it. They have. Boy Crever, they pushed last and won. Picking off the Dale man in that last push was what finally did it. And there we go. We are going on to map number 2. Void will take the first one, upsetting them. And that was a 29-minute golden cap, ladies and gentlemen. That's incredible.
That's the second longest I've seen in a while. The longest one have been Ascent and Feint last season on Granary or something. No, or Electro and Feint, I think.
Oh, I remember that.
So that was also like a really long one.
Was that really half an hour?
Around, yes.
Wow.
Roughly, that was roughly like 2 maps of Granary, yeah.
God damn. All right. Well, we have golden cap logs, and for once, they're pretty significant, you know?
Not that too much. Well, Mullah only died a single time on that. That's actually impressive.
Yeah. In dying once in 30 minutes? That's really good. And he had 4 DPM to CJ's 1, so he out-damaged the enemy medic 4 times.
That's insane. That's like...
That doesn't matter, but...
That's like 1 arrow.
Yeah. Yeah, he got like 1 arrow. That's it. And then Vildek's gonna have the top damage. He was doing pretty well overall.
He had to build these banners all the time. He had to just take responsibility in a lot of situations.
Yeah, Dro was actually the one. Yeah.
Dro had a lot of good jumps this game in general, so that is totally deserved, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. But like Dro, he is the Vomer, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So the fact that he was having that much success just
well, I mean,
really goes to
it's
show.
relative, 3% difference between him and Olga, So it's like that kind of like sort of roles they have.
Yeah, but Olga was like doing the banner play. Usually what happens when people do banner plays is that they do a bunch of spamming and they soak up a bunch of heals, and then they get a massive damage number next to them. But that wasn't what happened here at all. So it was kind of interesting to see that. And how many kills? Toast. Okay, you only had 4 kills on heavy, and 7 on scout. Yeah. Toast again, not having the best game, but yeah, all the scouts really did do a whole lot. This was just...
There was a lot of damage here, yeah.
A lot of spamming going on.
That's always a bit unfortunate, but, they finally found the answer at some point here. Just, all it took was really, like, a bad spy play into CJ being not with, like, the combo, basically.
Yeah, he was kind of situated over on the right side there. And that just meant that his demo man was being able to be picked off, and then when a soldier came onto the point, there was no stickies on it, which meant that people actually had to like physically go and block the point, and then they just walked into his rocket, took a ton of damage, and then everyone else was just able to finish them off really well. And yeah, I mean, I guess if you do things for like an hour straight, you'll eventually learn something and do a good push.
Yeah, and maybe the thing they learn here is that this already took so long, maybe let's not waste too much time between maps. But it's TF2, so I doubt they're gonna be that smart.
They're probably gonna like change servers and then find out those bad ideas, so they change it back. And then someone's gonna just disconnect a little bit into the first thing, and then someone's gonna be AFK before we start. So
I don't know why Alien Smiley can't play today, but maybe this takes so long that he comes back from whatever he's doing.
Yeah, he was like... I'm sure he was like out with a broken hand, but by the time the first map was over, he had already healed, and he's good to go. It's fine. What do you think we're going to see on the second map? Do you think it's going to be the same story, or do you think they're actually going to be better at pushing last?
I do think it will still be really stalemated, because we've seen that both teams are really content with that, really confident in that, and that's just what they do. I'm not sure about the last pushes though. Do you have like a bit less ability to like create these sort of situations like you have on Gully with like under the point play and quicker sacks and stuff like that, because the point is just bigger, you can't get behind easily the way the last point is, so you need to actually coordinate something a lot more of the time. So that could actually be as bad, if not worse, if these teams aren't as like specifically better on the map itself, other than just, it being like a general strategy thing that's not going to work.
Yeah, I kind of feel like, though, that because it's a slightly worse map for having heavy, on last, and also for sentries, that kind of stuff, it's not as impactful. There's like one sentry spot
it
in heavies
doesn't deny
considered.
entry too much.
Yeah.
Like every or sentry. In the sentry, it's especially can be spammed relatively easily unless it's situated on the wall or something, at which point you can still play around it in some capacity and still get in beforehand. So that's not like a deal breaker as much as this Gully.
Yeah, I just feel like teams are better at actually pushing last these days on process than a lot of other maps. Like, it's been really just really well figured out. When you have an Uber advantage, right, you just go through the lobby and then out through the left door, and you just flash a demo man and maybe a soldier or a scout, and then you jump in really deep. The med will catch up to them, and then you've gained a ton of ground, and you put pressure on the point, and then you cap, right? And everyone just does that, and it works.
Yeah, I personally suggest people that want to see good examples of what Peter's talking about to watch 7 at I63 because process that last pushes happen really, really good, and that's a really good example of how to push this last point, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. But of course, process, it's one of those maps that I consider to be like a pretty bad soldier map, at least as far as damage and KD is concerned. It's very easy for Scout to pick them off because of the way it's kind of a longer map, and there's just a lot of high ground that Scout can just sit on and just pick them off. So, Dro, he had a really nice first map, but maybe that's going to be contained a lot more now. But on the other hand, Toast has had a pretty mediocre map so far, so maybe he's just going to continue to have that be the case. And I love what they're doing right now. They're just penciling and then airshotting each other, just farming it up. And oh my god, they've all joined different teams. And we're going to be going live in 90. So the first map went very surprisingly to Crever. So what do you think is going to be the result here on the second map?
I want to say PDF is still got the ability to win this. I would imagine it would be similarly close. It has been historically between these two teams, so I wouldn't imagine it going any other way, but I would still give PDF the upper hand.
I agree. I think it's going to be 3-1 in favor of PDF, and I think it's going to be a pretty decent game from them. And then, of course, that means we're going to have to go into a third map, which will go into overtime, which means that this stream will not end until midnight. So that's my long game prediction. I think at this point, it's just going to be pure misery, and everything that's happening in this game is just going to be a matter of extending the game to make it as miserable and as grueling as possible.
You got to see the upsides here. Here's the way of playing the game with the halftime makes it so that any game can take 50 minutes by default into Golden Cap. So it could be worse.
Indeed. That's actually my least favorite part about it. Yeah, when you have a slow game like that, it just takes forever.
I just don't understand why they're doing it for playoffs, best of 3, best of 5 series. For weekly games, it makes sense enough, I guess. But doing for the best of series doesn't make much sense to me. Either way, that's not our business right now, as the map is finally going live.
Indeed. Qualifier takes map number 1. PDF, they need to take the second one in order to extend to a third map. Otherwise, we will not see CJ in Prem. Is he just cursed? We will find out. As both teams have kind of set up on their own side. Here comes the big bomb in from Voidcareer. Olga's going to just find his way all the way in. But here comes the counter jump from Coling. Actually just gets suspended in midair, but Neon gets some nice follow-up damage. He will eventually get taken down, but the positioning right now is definitely in favor of PDF, and the medic is actually being chased down by a scout. The scout's missing though. Okay, not forever. Eklund will eventually get him down, so he gets a nice 3k on this middle, and just going to be Neo left up alive here, trying to hide out here in PC.
Well, maybe not for long, we'll check that Eklund will find him immediately. Really well done mid-fight there. Colin and Leon had really nice coordination between each other. Nice bomb into immediate follow-up by the demo, and both of them died for it, but they are the only casualties. Everybody else was just there to clean up the mess afterwards, and it worked perfectly. Convincing mid-fight again, and now is the question if they have what to do here on last.
Yeah, we're about to see a last push. I kind of mentioned exactly what I think we're going to see. There is a sentry gun. It's just going to be a dull soldier flash in here. That's a bit unorthodox. The sentry gun is still alive on the right side, and it is being spammed by the demo man. There you go. Eventually it goes down. There's no pressure on the point, however, so they've kind of just secured one side of the point. PDF, they're all very weak, so I think they're just going to have to get out of here alive. And Vilder's going to jump in so he can make something happen, but no, that was just an exit Hail Mary to see if they can get it, and that's another failed Uber push.
Yeah, unfortunately not able to like do much with the space they took in the end, and with 2 soldiers down right now, you're lacking a lot of damage potential on second that the Frenchies want to just take advantage of, get all the way in here, but Leon had a trap near the point, will get Bulla for his troubles, and that is huge advantage to CJ. The question, do you want to enter immediately or do you want to play it safe? Deny jumpers coming your way instead. For now, Wilczek wants to go and rest, takes it slow, he will die for it, but Olga gets taken down here by calling in Toast as well at the same time, trying to make some sort of flank play. So it's a 1-for-1 trade with them having the upper hand in terms of advantage here.
Yeah, they get to go for a second round here. And the Senegon is up again. It's a level 2, the same thing, and they have spotted it this time around, so they should definitely know about it. This time around it's going to be a soldier and a scout going in. They have a lot more pressure on the point, so a very different approach this time around. They're trying to make them forced to go in here, but there's still stickies on the point, and there we go. They have been blown. They did a lot of damage now. There's a ton of aggression coming in. Time on the point as well. There's a much better push, but not good enough. Nice hold there. Mulet goes down at the very end of that push, but they do manage to hold fast.
They always have a really good entry here, but they can't do anything with it. They did commit over the point, like playing the point and trying to get the enemy team to either try to get baited onto the point or just trying to collapse to them. Something's always going wrong there. They're taking the worst end of these fights, and like the coordination on the damage is not as good as it was on mid in these sort of situations, and makes all the difference here. CJ still has advantage due to dying earlier, but it doesn't make a huge amount of difference. It's barely 10-ish%, and I doubt they will play off this.
Yeah, I did like the amount of just point presence they had. They were like one pain train away from actually capping that, So yeah, they did that part of the push pretty well. And if you just do it a little bit better and maybe get those stickies off the point, then you can force the enemy team into you. And then they can't kite you as well. But now we actually see that he's just going to do a dot push, it looks like. They're just going in here. And, that was a weird pop. They just kind of popped proactively, and no one was there to actually take advantage of it. But oh no, the medic goes in. Okay, he gets forced. He went in through the one door, and they're just going to try to force out CJ here. And he will make it out alive here. So just a huge exchange. There's 2 players behind lines still. There's a scout and a soldier, and Duo has been taken down. Here comes the soldier in from the front. There's just a huge collapse. Great push in and some great flank ins, but the fight is still going on, and it looks like Voigtlander might actually be winning out, but just as I say that, they actually lose a ton of players, and Ekelund just cleans up along with Toast, and that was a really nice pushing.
Yeah, they had trouble with the initial Uber here, but the moment Uber got forced on the other side as well, they knew what to do, just kite it, tried to take a better position for the post-Uber fight, and it worked brilliantly. They have kills into last, but they're not going to be that much longer here. Neo, Olga, back on the field alive. Toast takes a bunch of damage, but they kind of just want to see themselves out of this, probably for the best. Soldier tries to pressure them in lobby as well, all the way back into second, and as good as of opportunity as was, the spawn times were just not quite good enough, and it makes perfect sense not to rush this into last.
Yeah, as soon as you just take a bit too much damage there, you just kind of have to get out of there. They could go for a dot push. Again, I don't think they're actually going to go for that, especially considering that, well, I was wrong. They're just going to go for a dot push, but they're definitely not going to get in. And Wulik takes a big rocket immediately, and both scouts put time on the point. So overall, a pretty nice push coming out here, but unfortunately they miscounted it was just a little bit. But they do manage to take down the DuMmTm, so this opens the door up for a counter push coming in. And they are doing just that, doing a ton of damage, putting pressure onto the point. That's going to force everyone else to walk onto it. Doing a million damage with that one rocket, and there we go. A nice re-push coming in here. And these dot pushes so far have actually been pretty good, I think. And there we go, 1-0, pretty quickly.
Yeah, I don't think they miscalculated at all. I think they just were playing around the fact that they needed a re-push here, and they didn't lose important classes. The medic almost survived that, so they had a great ability to come back in. And as long as you get one kill, it's a decent opportunity. Getting the demo makes the point wide open for play. So this was really well done by Disney Fangirls.
Playing off of the advantages that you got, that's how you got to do it. Looks like we're going to see Olga just jump in very aggressively once again. Wilczek jumped into the enemy PC, and he got a rocket in the ass just to greet him in there, so they know he's there. So just going to meet up top this time around. Not really managing to get any kills or secure much damage, but look at the demo man here from Neon just walking across the point, doing a ton of damage. Yeah.
Farms so much damage, barely doesn't get Mula, but everybody's on the chase here, trying to get the medic. With the pack, he will stay alive for a bit longer. Maybe he has some backup here, but it's 2 people against 1 spawner here on who's that? They are not fast enough.
Calling even the trading.
Calling in the end, yeah. But it's
really
not
nice
enough in the end. And again, a really convincing mid-win for Disney Fangirls here. They beefed up Uber as last week before, and surprisingly enough, the even one went a lot better, but hey, if you don't
do you go now, or do you
again.
wait until you have spawners, right? Because Medic was not even up yet. But you miss out on a couple of spawners. It looks like the answer is they wait a bit. I like this.
It also gives them time to build under. Pyro's up to on his main as well. No, yeah, Karnix is still on sniper on the right side, so they're doing everything they have to stop this as much as they can. Let's see what this Fangirls have in store for this.
Yeah, they managed to take down Syndicate despite it being protected by a Pyro. Pyro's gonna actually get reflected onto Neon, and everyone else has just survived. Medic is so weak. There we go. Villiak will eventually get Moolah. That's a nice consolation prize. Of course, they would have rather had the point, but Raph survived on 3 HP, and Medic died super late as well. It's just going to be a single scout there. It's on Neo trying to sneak his way into choke. See if he can maybe catch out the Medic, but that will not be the case. They will just have to settle for the second point when an uber disadvantage.
Yeah, with this Moolah kill, they have so much of an opportunity to do anything here, so that CD survival is huge, and it's not even much of any contention on second here to speak of. They realize the situation. At best, you can try to force, but even if you get it, you can't lose too many players, and a single player force in this situation is just not that confident of play. So they just want to hold on last instead of risking something second here, it seems.
Once again, they have the sentry gun going up with the Pyro protecting it. They're going to go through the right side. This time around, they're going to milk it a little bit. But Ekelin actually goes down, just runs into it. He just trusts his mech to save him, but he didn't. So now they're taking the right side, and everyone else from the Voidcap, they're just on the left side. Viltek's pretty weak, but so much time on the point. Oh my god. Voidcap just didn't react in time. And just immediately it gets capped out. And 2-0 favor of PDF.
Yeah, and that's how easy it can be. They even lost somebody on the way, but they just zoned them back really nicely. The sticks didn't let the scouts move forward at all, and everybody else would be there to deny the soldiers that ended up not being fast enough either way. So, really nicely done there. Just a simple, uber advantage push here.
Both demos are about equally fast. We actually see Calling, he's in pretty quickly, so he's kind of hiding in there to see if he can catch anyone else. Unfortunately, nobody is really in that area, and he's going to miss his big jump in as well. So that's going to be delayed quite a bit, and he's probably going to be a few rockets short. He will eventually have to find his way behind lines, and he has already been taken down, so there's a bit of a disaster. The push coming in, but Medic going down, that's actually going to save everything. Just the 2 scouts right now doing a ton of work. Look how weak everyone is from Voidcap, but eventually they will go down.
Silver lining is that Mulan did die, and later than CJ here, which does always help a little bit, but it is not too much. Yes, this mid-fight was significantly in their favor. He just went right side really confidently, over the fact that Raph was slow on rollout, and it forced PDF to respond similarly, and by the looks of it, PDF was not as well prepared as the Frenchies are for right side mid-fight here. Just really awkward attempts to cross the point by the soldiers, and it just didn't go well for PDF.
I kind of would have liked to see a crit streak coming out from TJ. At some point, you just gotta mix it up, I feel, and just go for a crit streak. Critzing into middle is not that bad. But TJ decides not to go for it, and even though he started out with about a 10 to 15% advantage, it's pretty much down to nothing at this point. It's very difficult to actually push anything out of it. So now we're gonna be able to settle in here to get the first stalemate of this map. And how do you think that they're going to try and force out some Ubers here? Because that's the play that's going to happen, for sure.
The classic play is the double bomb on the red end here. One soldier fakes it in, the other one comes in for the direct kill, and that's exactly what happens. Ro comes in for the kill, but he gets denied much more than Olga did in the end, and it doesn't let him through to CJ at all. So the classic strat this time not working out too well. Did get a decent amount of damage. Colling barely walks into those sticks there. Will get taken down himself, so not much of counter attack coming out on the blue end here. Olga just immediately tries to respond, circles back out immediately, plays it safe instead. Ralph with the follow of them can't catch these scouts, unfortunately though, so it will remain an even stat for the moment.
Yeah, it was a nice serve from CJ there to save himself. Maybe it was too early to come in there from Drobe. Normally you wait until the first soldier has kind of surfed all the way back into the back lines of the point, right? So he can get out, and then everyone's looking that way, and then the second soldier comes in. But Drobe kind of came in almost at the same time and in the same angle, and so it was very easy to focus down. The village is actually going to go down. Here comes the second soldier bomb in, and this time, yeah, okay, that was the distraction. Here comes the first one in, but Raph is in so deep, and he gets taken down. They do get the Uber Force out, and actually they take down 3 players as well. This worked out really well. Moolah is actually going to surf out a bit here as well, and Colin going to get taken down, and that was a really successful Uber just force and just fight overall.
Yeah, they just made them uncomfortable. They had CJ back off and just killed players that are closer than the medic instead, forcing by proxy effectively, getting all the way into LAN. Who are not really doing much, they're indecisive as to whether they want to push on the point or into the players with the Uber, and it wastes a lot of it. People are spawned right now. It gives PDF a bit of hope. You try and take this fight, but they're still so weak. Trying to take this fight on the point. They don't have a DuMmTm either yet. And it's just going all over the place. Ruff comes in now with the sticks on the point. Is it enough? It looks like it is Toast, the last one alive. The two scouts on heels.
Everyone delaying. There we go. Alright. That's going to make it 2-1. Everyone else is switching to them later at the very end. But that was a very scrappy fight. And just a few misses there or a few hits more from someone else could have completely turned that around. But that was extremely close. And just, I think they would have got forced really early on there. I think Mula saw like a sniper dot and he just went like, I'm not going to take chances. So he just popped in. And that Uber didn't do a whole lot to immediately. So, yeah, that made it a lot closer than it probably should have been. But it looks like both teams just going to take their own side. He just actually takes so much spam. He might get jumped here. No, he actually doesn't. Ian hits a nice pipe onto 12. Cedar's just going to still hang out here in the back. And I think the damage just wasn't called. And Mula's going to try to get out. Calling barely unable to get him. But they do manage to get a lot of other people. And Mula, he is in deep. He has become pretty healthy. But he's going to have to run right now. A nice pipe there from Raf, going to defend his medic. And actually going to pan down another soldier. Mula's doing his best dodging. He's actually going to get out unbelievably. So that's some really good movement there. And there's actually a lot of players that went down as well. The Viljack's going to go down. And the soldier hits some really meaty rockets. It's actually going to come out with an uber fight. This mid fight is the mid fight that doesn't want to end, even though it has been capped and everything. You see people just trying to block them out. CJ's going to get caught in. Dwo's going to just lob him into the air, take him down. And people just getting completely bullied out here by the French team. What a mid fight and what a continuation there.
And they just didn't hit their shots in the end, which is so weird because they hit all of them on the actual mid-fight and then just points at and cap, let's just forget how to DM teams, and suddenly the French is back probably with a decent Uber advantage, as well as like half a pick onto Toast, who's already on Engineer setting up for last, so tries to make a play, Viljack not really hitting anything there. Calling denies the flank really well though, gets Draw and Karnik all at the same time, makes this all the more possible. If only they had the second scout on this fight.
They're actually pulling everyone back to deal with Colin. Just to deal with him.
Echo plays with that in as well. They corner Olga really nicely there by just trying to bait Calling instead, getting Calling eventually, but also losing Olga in the process here. So nice little bait there on the flank, gets a 1-for-1 trade. CJ still only has 50%, so it's still fairly sketchy, but it's enough for them to decide to move in with Toast off Engie into second.
Looks like there's a bunch of pressure coming in there. Actually in really deep. They do have the advantage, so CJ, he needs to be very careful. He can't overextend. It looks like everyone else has been pushed out, and Ekelon with going down there for a nice rocket. Just the spam is too strong, and there we go. They will exchange the advantage for a second point. That's overall pretty decent for both teams. They're probably not too upset with that. But let's see if they can actually make their way into last year and maybe make some sort of play. Ekelon is still down, so there should be some area to work with. Calling, oh my god, almost died, but just barely manages to resupply there before the rocket came in. That's a good use of the resupply bind. Or just switching classes, you know, instead of running all the way into the resupply cabinet. But Colin will actually take down Neo. He was trying to go in, but does not manage to get all the way in. And now it's one person down for Crever.
One pick is not much to try to play off, but sometimes you just have to take a chance. And Colin attempts to get piped immediately out of lobby. Chance denied right as it started. Neo comes up on sniper with this too. So this could be interesting. You can land a shot here, and PDF is not aware yet, so people are not in the same positions. Gun is being built. Ekelon, speaking of safe positions, just in lobby trying to fight things. He probably shouldn't. Olga and Karnik's team up to get the kill here. Neo's sniper has been deployed in lobby as well, trying to angle up onto anything, but nothing's quite in the sideline yet, so he just decides to walk in there. Hits a shot, but it's not quite enough.
Still, it's a lot of pressure. They're trying to take down the sentry gun. They actually did get that down. And I just want to point out that Neo is one of those snipers that a couple of seasons ago, he was kind of low-key one of the best snipers in Prem. So absolutely keep your eyes on him. He is not going to miss a whole lot of shots. That's what my prediction is going to be. I don't know how active he's been. It's been a while since we've seen him in Prem, but I think he's still going to be very, very good on this sniper. So they need to be very diligent here and just shut him down whenever he tries to come in and just spam him out, because otherwise he will hit those shots.
So far a bit more passive now, giving up lobby for just a second. But it's just a matter of time. If your Neo's just got walls in here again, try to take some shots. And Ekelon is what we've seen on Gully being aggressive a lot and choke, and lobby is, it seems, his new area of trying to just cheese away a kill. Not happening so much. Viljack just wraps all the way around though. Nobody had eyes behind that on the left side. And he just gets the force virtually for free with the Karnak's kill on top of that. No scouts to be found anywhere now on the red end.
Big play coming out here, but how will they actually manage to push out here? Pushing out from Process Last is very uncomfortable, and pushing out Process Last against a sniper is extremely uncomfortable. So it's just a matter of how will they try to do this. Normally people will just Uber out through the lower door. They might decide to do something else, but yeah, it looks like that's what they're going to do. There was a secret to this that you had to just pop it out. Going to jump in the demo match super quick. Wiethoofd, however, goes down on the flank. Neo gets jumped, but he is going to survive on 2 HP. CJ goes down, not able to get out alive, and this has been a complete disaster. Mula survives. Only 2 players alive right now from PDF, and now comes the counter push. There's no Uber yet for Mula, but they don't need an Uber who can just kill everybody. And there we go, air shot onto Raph as well. Colin hitting it, or was that Raph that hit it? I can't actually tell. But yeah, there we go.
Yeah, really nicely done. They just pressure back up so much that nobody really knew what to do on the Uber. Nobody could really pressure forward consistently anymore on the Uber, on PDFs, and try to get out of class. And they just had to deal with stuff behind that ended up actually just wasting a lot of time, getting CJ isolated too, getting the kill on the medic, and it just all fell apart fairly quickly with a little bit of a backup threat.
Absolutely. Both DuMmTm gonna just decide to play their own right side, and Wiethoofd's gonna jump in pretty aggressively into this PC area once again. And now he's gonna jump in, gets onto Mula. He does get him. There we go. Nice jump in. And there's just 2 players alive right now for Crever. 1 scout manages to trade, sort of jumps into a scout. That's not going to end well for him. And Toast with the 4K on mid. Nice mid from PDF.
Yeah, once again, they slowly getting back into the mid fight. There was one sketchy one, and obviously defeat last round. But in the end, they have been having all the control on these mid fight, it seems, besides the right side one. And as long as they don't get caught by surprise by that anymore, it should be fine. Meanwhile, the Frenchies definitely want to keep doing just that, but it looks like PDF is just learning quicker here.
It's the exact same setup that we've seen at least 3 times now. And it's a sentry gun with a pyro in front of it. That's going to be super annoying to deal with. And then there's a bunch of stickies on the point and everyone else holding up in the bunker area behind point. And it's worked out really well. Here comes the Uber in. And they have actually tried to put a ton of time onto the point, but Toast goes down, DuMmTm goes down, or Ekelund goes down. There we go. CT will even get picked off as well. This is not a push that's really working. Nia's going to come in there for his last hurrah, and he will not be able to get anything. And hey, man. There was a nice shot going on, but the last push did not work at all.
The one thing that I did praise about like last push attempts on French and on Gullywash was that they always had some sort of exit strategy. They managed to keep Mula alive at the end of it and just keep themselves safe for another try, basically. And that's just not something that happened so far for BTF so much in this map, so you just need to be more aware of that if it goes bad, at least have a plan B here. So far, the new plan B is just total backcap, trying to drag everybody back, save mid-draw, doesn't care about that, just waits patiently and preys on CJ, gets some good damage, juggles him around, misses some shots as well, but will eventually find the kill. Force has been gotten in the meantime on the Bula, but it just doesn't matter anymore with some nice patience on the French roamer. Speaking of which, coming in high!
Oh,
and returns the favor immediately.
That's a round-saving pick right there. If Mula is alive for this, it's just an easy second cap rolling all the way into last. It's still an easy second cap. But that was a really huge pick from Coling. The overall back cap attempt there was pretty weak. I did say it was an easy second cap, but there's actually a lot of contests going up here. It might be a recap coming out, and it looks like that's going to be indeed the case. Joe's going to get forced out in lobby as well. Actually going to get taken down by Wiethoofd, so loses that. And now it will be a mid-fight, so to speak, or maybe everyone else just run to get out here from Crever. Looks like they don't want much to do with this fight. And that's a big turnaround.
Yeah, that was such a decisive play by Colling here to save this, like you said. It's not much of an advantage to CJ, so, you know, getting mid is maybe as good as it can get, but that's a lot better than losing per round, so they gladly take it. And maybe even a little bit more here. They try to peek in, sticks all over the place, so CJ needs to be careful, but so far they're not walking into those. And the Frenchies are not really set up here at all. 3 people on the right side near PC, and the other 3 are just not in this at all. Olga will get a kill. Draw as well, it's really weak, but will stay alive. Olga wraps all the way around through mid, eventually to second. Will get spotted on the way though. Frenchies want to contest this off the kills they have to use first to get in. Prof gets flashed in. CJ has to flash a lot more, which makes this Uber even shorter, but They didn't really find an entry pick until now. Neon goes on CJ, takes some hits with Olga distracting them behind lines, and it just bullied them out eventually. Olga gets picked up. It's a 1-for-1 trade, and it's just about good enough for the Frenchies.
Just about good enough. Yep. Okay, we're back in a stalemate here. Looks like there's going to be some pressure coming into choke here from Wiethoofd, but they will eventually just back off. Neon's pretty weak right now. He's going to need some heals before he can really do anything. If he could really use an arrow, it looks like he's going to pick up a med kit instead. So he's just holding pretty close to choke. That kind of makes me think that they might be trying to go for some sort of play, but no, looks like there's not going to be quite the case. So before we saw the Frenchies do the very standard medic force strategy of just sending in both soldiers through the choke, one acting as a distraction and eventually just looping back out, and then the second one comes in. But is there any other way to actually try to get the force out, do you think?
You can try to get stuff behind just in some capacity through PC and just coordinate something like a soldier jump and then the scout comes in from behind after you walked in, kind of like with like a scout behind in Guywatch second. That kind of thing is certainly possible. You can just like play completely risky and throw away your demos life, send him in, or just hope for the best, try to get some sort of exchange, rotate back out, try to get a decent refight, try to get like a single player at least during the exchange for the non-aware repush.
It seemed like last season,
but you know, every single time you do anything but a single sack, it's obviously going to be a lot riskier.
Yeah, it seemed like last season there was this short period of time where the meta was to just send in the demo man for a bomb. I don't know why that happened or why it went away. I haven't seen it a whole lot since, but there was this very short period where it seemed like all the demo men were just jumping in. But yeah, we haven't seen that quite yet. You can, of course, also... there's a lot of French teams over the history of TF2 that seem to really favor the sewer push, where they go far right through the launch pad area, so to speak. And they just push in on grass that way and just kind of take a fight and bait people in, and then you just hope like there's going to be a soldier bombing into them and eventually just go down. But it looks like both teams have just reverted into the classic sniper duel play. Neo's going to go down pretty weak and pressured out by a scout there, so good job there from that scout. We'll take him down, or down low at least. And it looks like he's going to be in sewers right now, trying to see if he can get a good view. Eglin's going to open the door for his sniper, but he will die for it.
Well, that's what you want to see. If you're right here, just a quick conversion of the sniper, seeing something immediately dead. The question is if they can get more of that, and they will.
Neo gets
CJ goes down.
That's
and
so
he
huge.
gets a third one on top of that. He just doesn't know. And into this, Kanix denies the jump of Neon as well. Only Toast and Calling really close to anything being done here, and even they can't break through the French defense right now. Trying everything coming in Medic's way.
Neo is just bullying right now. He did so much work. That was like 400 damage, and some really key picks are coming out from him. Huge play. CT has spawned, but he is at a huge uber disadvantage, and he probably doesn't want to show his face to a sniper that's going to walk through this choke any minute now. Demoman's going to jump in. Rap's going to just lock down all the chokes. See, Viljak might contemplating doing a jump in there. Now he's been spotted, and he takes some spam damage. That's going to mean he's going to have to get out of there. So now we have an uber advantage. Pushing with a sniper is not the best thing in the world, admittedly so. But if you can just
hit the shot like instantly, so you get just like a free pick coming in. So let's see if they can do a push. Comes in from left, trying to get onto Neon, really disconnected from everything else. And there we go.
CJ goes down.
Hits the medic. So they have the plan B already. If this phase, which it currently doesn't look like so far, they can just push with advantage, but they just bully this onto the point, trying to get a lot of damage done, and it's just what they needed here.
Exactly what they needed, just Neo going absolutely huge, and that was a pretty good uber push coming in overall. Gonna be 3-1 for Wiethoofd, and it's just looking more and more likely that CT will not make it into Prem. There's still 3.5 minutes remaining, but they need to win around here, otherwise they will have to go into high again.
And you know, they've been there too many times. I think they want to make the jump at some point here, but so far Frenchies have the upper hand, despite the mid-fight. It's not going all that amazing for them. Maybe CJ's team just needs a better mid-fight here. They jump in aggressively, Viljak Calling go in aggressively, but Draw gets killed onto CJ too. All of this damage just needs to be followed up on by the blue team here to get all of these important kills in the end. But mostly, Frenchies just kind of escape mid so far. Don't want to get them these kills at the moment, with Draw being all the way behind lines.
It's a pretty difficult situation. The mid-fight eventually does end up favoring professional Disney Fangirls, so they will eventually take it, but Again, this is a really nice crit situation, but it looks like neither medic have opted to do so. Dwo will actually go down, just not able to make anything happen. And now, right, so currently, there's only 2.5 minutes remaining in this, and the Frenchies, they are up. So I think we're just going to see a push in here. And there we go, both soldiers jump in. Coling does a lot of damage onto Mula. He does eventually go down, but there we go. The follow-up bomb comes in, but he goes down. It's just going to be CJ and Toast alive, though. So was that worth it? Maybe. Yeah, they're probably going to lose mid for it, but if they can come in, take middle without using Uber, and then come all the way back in, this could work. But it was very risky play for sure. But, you know, time calls for desperate measures.
Yeah, and it's as desperate as it can get. 2 minutes left on the clock, the round lead. You just lost mid here. Either needs to be good or not come in at all if they want to make something happen. Kanix and Rozo have different ideas. Go all the way behind lines. Dro for the medic, Kanix for the backup. Want to get the force. CJ has to comply eventually. BJ had it in the back, but against the scout it's not a favorable fight. So 2 people go back. This Uber is not going to accomplish much anymore. Neon getting the sniper as well. The Frenchies just slowly come back into middle here. But the backup is still going on.
Yeah, the backup is definitely what's going to just cause them a lot of pain coming into this. Olga does eventually go down, so the man advantage is definitely real in favor of PDF right now. Connex is still on this point. Oh my god, he was like a millisecond away from capping that, but they do eventually block it. But he did pull every single person from PDF back, and that's going to allow everyone from Voidgraph to come back into middle, safe and sound, and they're going to have an Uber advantage, which they probably don't want to push on, but you know, they don't really need to. They just need to hold middle with this Uber, and there we go, because there is going to be an Uber. Seed's going to have to dance around. He gets piped. He gets double piped. Down he goes. And even as, oh my god, Raft is hitting those crisp pipes. Pops the scout into the air, hits him, and this is looking like Void Crever might just make it into Prem. Actually, Vizier's going to come in, try to get the medic, but Mula somehow survives. Dodges the air shot. Here comes Coling as well. Oh, he actually gets a nice crisp direct onto him, so everyone's just basically dead. But that means that no one else can cap it. And yeah, the first GG has been called out here for calling. I think they have done it. Void Crever upsetting the 90% poll result or whatever it was to actually take this.
The Frenchest season of Prem we had in quite a while, I would say now. And yeah, 6-4 now in Premiership. That's 13, unless I'm forgetting about somebody.
Yeah, now they just need to actually win a Nations Cup again. The domination of European TF2 will be complete. Yes, we just have last 5 seconds. We even see Olga jumping in there with the heavy shotgun, gonna get the last kill of the match. There we go. He's in Prem. So is Mula. Big congratulations to Void Crever. Nobody really believed them, but thanks to some really nice play and tenacity and unwillingness to ever give up, I suppose, they just tired out PDF eventually, and they made it into Prem. And big congrats.
Yeah, now they just need to establish who is the better French team here, and Ombrek in next season of Premiership.
Yeah, Ombrek doesn't count, right? Because he's just like the only one there.
Like Ombrek is just like kind of there, you know. You know
yeah. All right, let's take a look at some logs, and then hopefully we can get some interviews going after that. But Big Raph just going absolutely huge, going 22-11 with top damage. Just putting in so much work, and his switch to Domain looks to have been a big success.
And, like if people like in chat every time I was like somewhat slow on a roller, everybody just obviously like brings up like Muma, or if you're really old, Seb Barton, you know, like these kind of memes. But they play it like with that in mind. They went right side very much intentionally. So, and in the end, speed of a demo only matters as much as they want to let it, and it certainly didn't impact any sort of game performance here at all. So, it goes to show that sometimes slow is certainly the way to win, and in this game specifically, slow is certainly the way to win.
Absolute slow and steady wins the race. You know, it's a turtle. Just kind of make it in there. But yeah, once again, I was actually really impressed with Mula. He just seemed to survive a whole lot. It was not really, doesn't show up a whole lot in the logs, but he did still have twice as much damage as CJ, which is not important. And then Dwo had another good game. I was kind of questioning whether or not he would be going to be able to maintain his good performance on Process, which is not the best soldier map exactly. I like the top damaging soldier was Olga with 13 and 18. So like the KD is never good for soldiers because you kind of just fly in through chokes. And you know, sometimes you make a big play, but you definitely die when you do it. So the KD is almost never a main thing.
Actually, one thing about the map stats, again, like last map that you can bring up to at least have a little bit to say about it is the depth of the chart stand, which once again is 4-2 exactly like it was last map, which again goes to show that the safe play after the evil to keep Mula alive is just working better for the franchise. Has it only to do with them protecting Mula, or maybe Mula himself just being able to dodge stuff when it counts? Is up for debate depending on the specific situation, but it definitely mattered a lot here, keeping him alive in at least twice as many situations where it happened for CJ. So it can make a big difference.
Yeah, I won't mention that Toast did have a good game this time around. He went 24-11, but let's get some interviewees in here and hear their opinion on what just went down. So I guess just a big congratulations to Olga. First of all, congratulations, you made it into Prem.
Thank you.
So yeah, how was you feeling going into this? Because you were actually you lost to PDF the last time around. You guys played in these playoffs, and so what were your expectations going into it?
Honestly, we had no expectation. Like, we just wanted to have a good scrim. But at the end we won, so I guess that's better.
All right, and then big commiserations to CJ and Toast. Unfortunately, didn't make it into Prem. How are you guys feeling? Are you disappointed, or are you feeling okay about it?
We set the start Div 1 looked pretty stacked again this season, and we had a good season last season against a pretty strong division. So regardless of what division we were playing in, we were just kind of either we lose most of our games in Prem or we try and win Div 1. So we did think we'd come into this and win. After the last performance, we were pretty confident, but it was just kind of very long, close game, I guess.
All right. Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is Olga. You guys' last pushes, especially in Golly, what was happening there?
Well, we were trying a lot of things, and I guess against such a team as a professional Disney Fangirls, it's pretty hard to set up plays that worked really, really well. We tried again and again the point play, where we sack a roamer and we have a scout on point. But they were well, we cannot do much things. I remember one time Raf just told us, okay, Olga, whatever you want to do, go for it, because I don't have any idea. So yeah.
Yeah, and CJ, you guys, you didn't do too well either. I kind of want to know what was going through your guys' mind when, you were in the overtime and you had been there for 20 minutes.
I mean, it was kind of I don't know, I was just clicking on people and buffing them, watching the numbers go up. Really didn't do much during the last holds. I mean, it was mostly kind of Toast switching between NG and then Heavy and then Spy and trying to go for a pick. But I think when people play against us, they know that Viljak and Ekelin can snipe and Toast can spy. So in a stalemate, in a golden cap, people expect it maybe. So we were just kind of waiting for them to off class and maybe try and do something and get a couple of picks. But every time we tried to push out, it was it was difficult because we'd lose someone. And yeah, it was just we were just trying to wear down the clock. And in the end, they just managed to get a couple of picks on us. But it's kind of hard in that situation if a team's playing passive to try and do something like Olga says, they're trying to make a play on the last point and we have to try and do something on their med or someone important to try and even get out of last.
Yeah, and everyone played pretty disciplined for the first bit. So as soon as they sacked one, then we would go spy or sack a soldier in, and because they all ran back, there was never really going to happen anything. So there was a lot of just waiting around until someone messed up and then had the opportunity to push. So yeah.
So how fatigued were you actually going into it? Because I noticed you actually did better on map number 2, but do you think, did you feel like everyone else were really tired going into the second map?
We were a bit spent because I didn't check the logs, so I don't know how long it actually was.
It's longer than the actual map.
Oh, right. It did feel like
minute.
Yeah, so we were pretty spent by that point. We just wanted it to be over, pretty much, and then move on to process.
It's quite late for our Finns, actually. I think me, Toast, and Viljak seemed kind of okay, but Coling was mentioned about being a bit tired, and I think Ekelin and Neon, it must be gone midnight for them.
Oh, easily.
Yeah. So I mean, it's kind of I think
it's a hefty night of games.
Hefty, yeah, that's the word.
So.
All right, Dom, do you have any questions pertaining to the match overall?
I don't think I have much else to say anymore. It was a long night. I think everybody here just wants to call it a day now, so I think we should just wrap up now for everybody's sake.
Well, before we do, I do want to hear, Olga, what are your expectations in Prem? Do you think you can not get last?
Well, that's gonna be a surprise, I think. But, well, I don't know. To be honest, I think if we go to Prem, we will like get crushed by the other team. So yeah.
All right, big confidence right there. Well, let's wrap it up, shall we? So we'll do some shout-outs first. So CJ, you're top, so you get to do the first one.
Just shout out to my team. Like, despite losing, everyone played fairly well today. Like, we played really well. It was just little moments, and shout out to the Frenchies. It's always nice playing against you guys. And for you guys for casting, thank you for covering the game.
All right, Olga.
Well, shout out to CJ's team, as always. It's a pleasure to play against them. It's really, really slow, but it's really mentally rich. Also, shout out to my team, obviously. Shout out to Neo for carrying this game. So hard. And shout out to Pauline, the girls that I love. And that's it.
The girls, okay. Toast.
Yeah, shout out to my team. Shout out to the opponents for a really boring Gollywas game. And then shout out to the production. Yep, that's it.
All right. So, Dom, do you have any final words before we close off tonight?
I guess as always, shout out to my boys, for being the boys. I said boys like 5 times now. Shout out to Ubida and Wiethoofd for like showing up last minute, because we like kind of scrambled, or I did like kind of scramble together like people for this cast last minute, because the match page, I got up super late today, so I saw the match page only like really late in the afternoon today. I had to find people last minute, so that was a bit hectic. Shout out to everybody that goes to LAN. I think that's like a few months away only. It's like a week after my birthday too. So go to LAN. It'll be fun. And yeah.
Yep, and we will like to thank all you guys for watching. It was a fun game. It was a pretty unique one, that's for sure. And a big congratulations to our new inductee into Prem. And Prem will probably start tomorrow. I'm pretty sure we have like the French team versus 7 tomorrow. If I had to guess. Yeah, so...
Wait, let me actually check ETF2L. I think it's the first point category. Yeah, we have Feint against Swift, and the other French team against 7.
Yeah, so you don't want to miss that, for sure. We've got some bangers to start off the season, and it's going to be another great one. The seasons leading up to LAN are always really fun. So definitely tune in tomorrow. And until then, just have a good night, have a good weekend, and bye-bye.